And that's my cue to start the show. Welcome to another edition of the Hard Rocket Sports Show, live from High Top Hard Rocket Sports Studios in beautiful scenic Monroe, New Jersey. We are your 2-hour weekly get-together. We bring you all the biggest news from around the world of hard rock, heavy metal, of course, the wide world of sports. And, folks, welcome to Thursday night, August the 7th, in the year of our good Lord, 2025. I hope you guys have had a great week, and I hope you continue to have one. We are always excited here this time of the year. You know, we get that malaise from May to July where you're kind of, treading water. You know, unluckily, we've had some big stories to cover, which, the passing of Hulk Hogan and Ozzy Osbourne. We've had some, things along the way to worry about. But there's nothing for this show better than football season. We're going to talk a lot of Yankees and Mets early, because both teams are very disappointing. We're going to talk a lot of football tonight. I got a little bit of Spinal Tap. I got some music stuff to talk about. So it's a busy show. So we're going to kick in pretty quick. But I want to just say, it is that time of year. And it's football season. And starting tonight, there's 3 games. There'll be football on every single Sunday, straight through the middle of February. So if your wife's not into it, or if you're not into it and she is, buckle up, Buttercup. There's a lot of football to be had. We'll talk football every week here. It will dominate. I am hoping for better seasons from both local teams. I have high hopes for both. And when I say high hopes, I'm not expecting Super Bowls. I'm expecting better competitive football this year. I like the way both teams are constructed. Now, you still got to stay healthy. You still got to play good football. You still got to do things the right way. But I like the way both teams are constructed. Now, will that pan out to be, 10-win seasons? Probably not. I think the Jets have a better chance at a 10-win season than the Giants. So, but again, I'll measure success not in the number of wins for either team, but in the measure of how much better they've gotten. Can they control the lines of scrimmage? Can they keep from making dumb mistakes? And can they stay competitive? That's all you want. You know what? We all want Super Bowls every year. Doesn't happen. What you want is consistency. You want to be competitive. You want to be in December and into January, and your team at least has the glimmer of hope. Or they're at least playing competitive football games. What you don't want to get into is you're in November, you're out of it, and your team's getting shellacked every week. I've had those seasons. We've all seen those seasons, and that's no fun. All right, so again, sit back, relax. We got 2 hours of sports and music talk, and we're glad you here with us tonight. So let's get the show kicked off right away, because I got a lot to get to. Again, we're going to open up with a lot of baseball to start. I'm very disappointed with these Yankees and the Mets, and particularly Juan Soto. And I'm going to start this conversation and then pick it up with Jeff on the other side in a generic way. But, for a guy who's the highest paid player on the Mets in most of baseball, I don't know if his salary is higher than Shohei Ohtani's at this point or anybody else. But when you're making $765 million, you better bust your ass. You better be the best player on your team. You better be the guy who leads by example. You don't have to always have success. It doesn't happen. But you have to play better. And Juan Soto is proving that he is not a $765 million player. Juan Soto was a really good hitter and an average ball player outside of that. He really is. He's an average fielder, an average runner. He's an average baseball player other than he's a really good hitter. But he walks too much. There's no fire in the guy. And for $765 million, I would say if you're a Met fan, you have to be disappointed. His stats are not bad. Don't get me wrong. He's going to hit 30 homers. He'll probably drive in close to 100 runs. He'll still bat 270, 280. It's not horrendous. He'll have a decent season. It's not a bust. He's not Jason Bay. But at the end of the day, you paid him $765 million over the next 15 years. For what we've seen today, I'll tell you, he has to be better than that. With that, let's get Jeff on the show. We'll get my pops on. And somewhere about 7:30, we'll probably get into a lot of football. Preseason kicks off, guys. Jets, Giants. Looking forward to it. Let's see. Should the Giants be playing? Who should play? Should the Jets be starting their starters? Lots to talk about. Philosophy. with my good friend and co-host of the Hard Rock and Sports Show, Mr. Jeff. Not sure why I'm a Jet fan, Towinski. Oh, man.
I'm just coming straight out and saying it.
Oh, so this is it? You're going right for it this year?
I'm calling you out immediately.
Go ahead. What are you calling me out on now?
You're a fucking pseudo fucking football fan. You wouldn't know good football if it landed in your lap. You're a Giant fan. You don't know what the fuck is going on. Your team is definitely capable of winning no more than 1.5 to 2.5 games this year.
All right, that is your opinion.
I'm not done yet.
Oh, sorry.
You have a recycled, retreaded quarterback in Russell Wilson, another recycled, retreaded quarterback in Jameis Winston, a reach from the draft at Jackson Dart, and I don't know, what would you even call Tommy DeVito at this point? What is he, like 6th string at this point in time?
Let me know when you're done. I'll
ask you a question, man. I mean,
Tommy DeVito right now is a member of the New York Giants team. I don't know where he fits.
I think he's below the practice squad at this point.
Believe that Jameis Winston might not make it out of Giants camp as their starting quarterback, and I certainly don't think he'll finish the year as a backup quarterback. I believe there will be a need for a guy like Jameis Winston on a team, and the Giants will allow him to go there and get something back. And the Giants will go into the season with 3 quarterbacks, 2 of which will be Jackson Dart and Tommy DeVito. That's my personal opinion.
You didn't read the latest about Jameis Winston?
Well, I just got the Giants the Giants webpage just before the show. I didn't see anything. So what did I miss?
He's on suicide watch because he's on the Giants.
Oh boy, here we go.
Yeah. I know. It's a shame.
Listen.
Meanwhile, Justin Fields is already projected to be the AFC Player of the Year.
Oh, where in your bathroom?
No.
That's where he's projected.
The guy has plenty of upside.
Yeah. We just haven't seen it in 6 years. We haven't seen it yet.
You know why he's having a rough time at things now in the summer?
Please tell me.
Tell you exactly why he's having a rough time.
Please.
He's going up against a Jets D that's probably top 3 in the league.
We're top 3. Oh, okay.
Top 3.
All right.
The only reason I don't say top team in the league is because they're going to coast in certain games to give it the illusion that they're beatable.
Okay, and you visited the chocolate factory, Mr. Wonka?
That has nothing at all to do with that, man. Yeah. You know that I'm talking right, man. You know.
Yeah. All right. I've heard this talk from you about the Jets' vaunted defense for about 5 years now, and I've yet to see vaunted. I've seen vaulted where people vault right over them and score touchdowns at will.
Not this year, bitch.
All right. Well,
not this year.
We'll see. I'm sure. I'll tell you what. If you're so sure that the Jets' defense is going to be vaunted, this vaunted number 3 defense, I dare you to select them for your fantasy team in our league.
I have in every year. Almost, I've taken them.
I'll take them again. I take them again.
Don't worry about it. I'll take them.
All right.
I had them last year.
We shall see where it plays out.
If you could look on my roster from last year, they started almost every game. Matter of fact, I think they even started their bye week because I wasn't paying attention.
No wonder you wound up in second place. Jeff, let's get the show kicked off the right way. This time, Jeff, how was your week?
Dude, a long week, and I got to go to work tomorrow because I'm on vacation. But it's almost over, and I look forward to the show. And I never told you this.
Go ahead.
Last week, when I went downstairs and I was playing at one point in time at Madden.
Yep.
And you texted me throughout the game. What's up, Louis Pica?
So
you should text my phone if you're going to do that. I don't know. If I get messages and I'm playing, I don't see them.
Yeah, I didn't have the phone next to me. I was just cranking up to play it, and I looked over and I saw you were playing. I said, let me send him a message, and if you want to jump over, I didn't know if you were in the middle of a game, and I said, let me see if you want to jump in. And I saw it after I was basically done. I was wrapping up. I saw you had finally responded.
Yeah.
Hey, Billy Graz.
Yeah, I would have played. So whenever you're ready to go.
I'm tell you the truth. After the show tonight, walk your dog. Let's jump on and play. We haven't done it in a while.
Yeah, no problem. I'll tell you what else I want to do. I want you to come on. I want you to play my New York Jets, my Jets team.
Okay.
I'm giving you the chance to ruin my undefeated season. I'm putting it out there where people can hear. I'm giving you, Tommy Florio, and you the chance to beat my undefeated season. I'm telling you right now, you won't do it.
Okay. So
Peace Hall 99. Rated 99. I got Garrett Wilson rated 96. I got guys coming up through the farm system that are just unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I was actually toying with you. I was gonna try to stop by your house after my day was over tomorrow, which I was hoping was a little early, but now you're working. I'm not sure it's gonna work out, but we'll see.
Listen, put your paddle in your car and let me know what time you're gonna be there.
I will put the paddle in the car tonight for sure. So we'll see if I can swing it now. I'm gonna swing by tomorrow. Maybe we'll have a game in house. We haven't hung out since your lovely backyard barbecue. So maybe Frank Bo Nix and the great defense. I know stopping.
This fucking guy.
Right.
You need to go into a fucking mental home, bro.
Well, we got a lot to talk about. Lots of baseball to start the show off. We'll get a little Spinal Tap in. We got a lot of football. We got week 1, technically week 2 of the NFL preseason. 3 games tonight. Jets and Giants this weekend. Who's going to play? Should they play? How much should they play? We're going to talk about all of that tonight. But, Jeff, I got to start off, and I'm really fed up with the Yankees and the Mets, and I'll tell you why. Now, I know you don't watch a lot of it.
I know I don't, but I'm following it through the standings because the last time that I really looked, both the Mets and Yankees were atop of their division. The Mets are in better shape, it looks right now, but the Yankees are, 6.5 out?
Correct. And the Mets have lost, I think, 6 or 7 straight.
It's getting late for these guys to be doing this now.
Correct. And the problem is the malaise that's on both teams. I mean, let's start with the Yankees. Okay. I got a bigger problem with the Mets because of Soto, but I got a huge problem with the Yankees. And here's the problem. They play stupid baseball. Now, I know you didn't see it. Jazz Chisholm was on first base. There's either nobody out or one out, and a pop-up to the second baseman, and he got picked off first base on a pop-up to the infield because he thought the second baseman might drop the ball. So he took off towards second, and then when he realized he was going to catch it, he went back and he got doubled off. And the hard part was he said, I do it again. So my problem for the Yankees, they make too many mental mistakes and way too many physical mistakes. They don't hit consistently. You know, I can deal with the you getting beat by other teams, but Jeff, at some point, the manager, somebody's got to hold one of these guys accountable, and they don't, and they just get let.
Well, the manager gets held accountable.
Well, that's where it's headed, and I'm not sure. Like I'm not a Boone fan. I think he spends way too much time in the book, too much time coddling the players. But I think it comes from above. And don't forget, he got the job because Joe Girardi was riding some of the younger guys about not playing hard enough, and he got fired after winning a World Series 2 years before because he was too hard on the guys. And they brought in Boone, and Boone's done nothing but pat these guys on the fanny for playing shitty baseball. Again, I can deal with, not striking out. I can understand the physical parts of not playing well, but mental errors should never be allowed. And the biggest part for me, Jeff, is the players don't hold each other accountable.
While I understand everything you're telling me, I got to say this. I want to go back to Chisholm real quick. Stupid move, without a doubt. You got to be aware of what's going on around you, and you got to know when to go and what to do. But you want to know something? Let's just reverse this real quick. What would have happened if that guy did drop the ball and he all of a sudden he ends up possibly scoring or making at least third base because he hustled? Everybody would have loved the play. He would have looked like a hero. He helped set up a big inning for them and everything else. But because it didn't go that way, bang, you're the GOAT. You know what I mean? And
but again, this wasn't one of those things where he was sprinting to catch a ball. This was a pop-up. The guy didn't have to move. He was standing underneath it. So even if he drops it, it's a switch of plays. The guy who hit the fly, hit the pop-up, would have been on first base, and Chisholm would have been out. Either way, there's a runner on first with 1 or 2 out. So nothing would have happened. But by him taking off and then trying to get back, he got both guys thrown out. Well, so not only is the guy who hit the ball out, he's out. So it's a dumb play.
It didn't work. I'm not saying it's not a dumb play. What I said is if it had worked,
Even if it worked, you go. I would if I was the manager, and even if that play worked, where the guy actually did drop it, and he wound up on second or third, it turned to a beginning. When he didn't come over, I pat him on the ass, and then I go, "If you ever do that again, you'll ride the bench for 2 weeks because it's a dumb baseball play."
I hear you, but if he turned around and he had made a big inning and something came of it, people wouldn't be talking this way, and you know that.
No, I'm with you. I'm not disagreeing.
Whenever any athlete fucks up, okay, of course you already know what the fuck up is, so you're going to concentrate on that. Yeah. And I'm not saying that you're wrong. Don't get me wrong. I hear you, because a chance like that, maybe if you didn't make that chance, you had 2 guys with an opportunity to get on base.
Yeah,
because of what you did. Now you have nobody on base, 2 outs, and that's it. Yep, 100%. If you had done the right thing, you would have had maybe 1 guy on base.
Correct.
Maybe 1 out. Who knows?
And then maybe the next guy gets up there and gets a hit or a home run.
You're not 6 games up in your division. You're 6.5 out. You have to be smart. Every play has to be geared towards winning.
100%. 100%. And that's the problem with the Yankees. And it frustrates me because what I don't see and what you're not hearing, in the old days, teams held each other accountable. They had a kangaroo court, which was for like stupid things, but they would hold you accountable. And if you did something dumb on the field, you had to pay a fine and you got embarrassed. And if you didn't hustle and you didn't play well, you didn't play hard, they would literally hold you accountable. There were fist fights in the locker rooms over it. And I'm not saying people should beat each other up, but all I'm saying is if I'm Aaron Judge, if I'm some of the guys who are playing hard and are playing well, you got to get in the face of these guys and say, we can't afford this shit. We can't afford to make stupid mistakes. And that's my beef. And when it comes to, I blame Brian Cashman because that's what they want. They want the players coddled. They want them rubbed their backs. And I blame Boone because if you're the manager and you don't play well, the shit falls on you. You're not teaching fundamentals. You're not stressing fundamentals. That's why you lost. And this is why I wish George Steinbrenner was still alive, because these guys wouldn't be here right now.
How long has Boone been manager over there?
I think 8 years, if I'm not mistaken. I think 2017.
That might be time for a change, man.
Yeah. No, I don't normally agree with that stuff. When guys don't play well, you got to blame the players, and if the manager's putting you in the right spot. And I get that they're winning 90 games every year, making the playoffs every year, and I get all of that. And they'll probably turn it around enough to make the playoffs, although I'm not 100% guaranteeing that right now. I would tell you the manager needs to go. And if I were Hal Steinbrenner, I would give serious consideration to bringing in a new generation of general manager, because what they're teaching in the Yankee camp, how to hit, the way to hit, and how to play the game, and allowing this is not Yankee baseball. And Frank Jeffrey's been running around about it. I agree with him. They should go back to no beards. And I know it sounds stupid, but it's all about the discipline, and it's all about following the rules and regulations. And I think the minute you let the inmates run the asylum, you got no chance.
Isn't Cashman been there 30 years, pretty much? Cashman's
been running the Yankees since '98. He's been there for years before that as assistants and this and that. But he's been general manager close to, I think it's 27 or 28 years now.
That's a long time, man. That's got to be longest in baseball.
By far it's the longest. You probably got to go back to like the 20s and 30s to find times where you had general managers for that long a period. And I would tell you, in modern baseball, no way. I can't imagine you get anybody over 10 or 15 years in the last 30 to 40 years. I can't even imagine that.
Yeah, that's long time.
And that's for any sport. Like, how many teams do you know have the same GM for I mean, it doesn't happen.
Was it just the philosophy of the game itself has changed how much?
Yeah.
In the amount of time that he's been.
You're absolutely right. Yeah.
General manager. So, and I'm not even talking about the way they play. I'm just talking about the whole game in general.
Yeah.
Now you have this guy there for 27, 28 years, and he hasn't won anything since what, 2009?
They haven't won the World Series since 2009. They haven't had a losing season since like 92 or 93. So, again, it goes back to what do you want? Do you want consistency over the years, or do you want some special teams, that wins World Series and then you have some off years?
In this case, there's not some off years, more often than not, you've had off years. You had a nice run in the beginning.
Yeah.
But you haven't won a World Series since 2009. That's
16
almost 15 years, 16 years.
Yep.
That's a long time.
Listen, for a Yankee fan, it's a long time. I mean, listen, there's a lot of teams going much longer than that, and I respect the fact that I could turn on a Yankee game from March to September, and then even into October, and the Yankees are competitive and playing, and they're still in it, and they're playing meaningful games. So to me, there's a give and take with it. But what I don't like is that you're not fixing the things that are hurting the team. And that's, if you're a great GM, you have to recognize, okay, we're playing well, but we can be playing great if we fix these things. And they just say, nope, we're going to stick with it. We're going to teach the game this way and let the chips fall they may. And they got to a World Series last year. So they didn't win it, but they got there last year, but they lost because of all the things that go wrong for the Yankees. The pitcher not covering first base, Aaron Judge missing an easy fly ball in the outfield. Too many strikeouts have plagued them for 8 years now, and it hasn't gotten fixed.
When you say that, like last year they made the World Series, they also got beaten in a pretty convincing fashion.
100%, yes, they got beat by a much better team. Yep,
it wasn't really as close as what would it go in 6 games?
4-1. No, they got beaten 5. Yeah, 4-1. They had a chance to get there. Yeah, no. Listen, they were up 5 or 6 runs in that fifth game. Had they won that game, I feel that they could have got back into the series, but because they lost that game, obviously that was it and it was over. But because but they had a chance to turn that series around and maybe make it a little more competitive and maybe have a chance to get to a Game 7. But because of the way they play naturally, the way making too many dumb mistakes, too many physical errors, and not hitting in the big spot, the Yankees lost. So, but that annoys the crap out of me. And then, Jeff, real quick, and I want to stay on this topic, but I want to get my dad in. This whole Juan Soto, I know you don't watch games and you're not seeing body language and stuff, but when you're getting paid $765 million for 15 years to play baseball, making millions of dollars per minute to play, when you watch this guy play, while he's a really good, maybe great hitter, he's an average everything else, and he's not a guy who's a leader of that team. And when you're getting paid that much money, I don't care what anybody tells me. You need to be not only the best player on your team, you need to be the guy on your team.
Well, look at it this way. The Mets have gone so long without having sustained success. Getting to World Series, making the playoffs every year. I know they've been better as of late, the last couple of years. But, somebody, you're right. Somebody does have to take, control of this team.
Yeah.
And just with the money that he's making alone, just that alone, he has to do what he has to do.
Absolutely.
And, listen, I mean, Frank, you could say anti-Met bullshit all you want, but, I mean, come on, with the money that he's making, maybe that could have been 2 players that could have helped your team instead of just 1 for what he's getting a year. You got to want more from him. I mean, is he hitting? Yeah, but I've seen replays in the morning on the sports on Channel 2. My wife watches Channel 2, and it looks like he could play a little bit harder, a lot harder.
Yeah, and that's the problem. And for me, again, this is not anti-Met stuff. I love baseball, and I would have been happy if the Yankees signed Soto, even overpaying him the money that to pay him. But when I look up at the Mets and I see the guy, and he's the classic example of I'm going to play really, really, really hard every year, because basically every year up until last year, he was playing for his next contract, and he was playing for this contract. And then it looks like I got my contract. I'm covered for 15 years of guaranteed money. Whatever happens, because his approach to the game is lackadaisical and non-leadership. He is an average outfielder, an average base runner, and he's playing like a better than average, really good hitter, not a great hitter. He's not hitting in big spots, and that's the problem.
Where he has plenty of people hitting around him. I'm looking at it now. You got Alonso, 25 home runs, Lindor, 21, Nimmo, 19. they all seem to be in the 60s, mid 60s of RBIs. So it's not like all the hitting falls on him, but he does have to play harder.
Absolutely,
and it is a dual face game. You not only getting the hit up at bat, but you got to play the field too. You have to.
Jeff, when the Dodgers paid Ohtani and the Yankees paid Judge, they paid two guys who were basically the best players in baseball. I mean, you can argue which one and which not. I don't care, but when I watch Judge play, he plays hard every game. When I watch Ohtani play, he plays hard every game. You could see the fire. This guy has nothing. And again, I'm not saying guys have, Eli Manning, and we could argue if he was a great quarterback or not. Eli was as laid back as they come, but he played hard. He played every single game. He took beatings, and he turned out. You don't have to be this fiery, screaming, yelling kind of guy to be a leader. But you can't go out there and loaf around, and you can't go out there and be, the fifth best player on your team when you're making that kind of money, because the investment in you has, no matter what you tell me, has hampered the team from getting other players. And to me,
maybe his salary, maybe it pays two guys.
Yeah.
And you get two guys to help you out.
Yeah, and Frankie,
Mets also needed a draw too. They needed somebody to put people in the stadium.
That I agree with, but nobody wants to go watch a guy play like that now. So while ticket sales are great this year, if the Mets fall off and they either don't make the playoffs or make the playoffs and get smacked early, there's going to be a lot of backlash from him. Now the rest of the guys, Lindor's been bad. Alonso's had some spurts. He's okay, and they're going to wind up having to sign him for probably a 2 or 3 year deal. He's probably going to want more, but they'll probably settle on a 3-year deal after that, I would imagine. He's played well enough, but Nimmo's been bad. Lindor's been bad. Vientos has been nowhere to be found. This is not a great Met team, and it should be better. But the bottom line is the guy they're paying the most money, the guy who they pay the most money is not their best player. And that's a sin when you I'm not talking about a guy getting, he's on the Pittsburgh Pirates, so he's making $20 million and everybody else is making $1 million. This is a guy making a ton of money and, $80 million a year, whatever it comes to. It's disgusting. Let's get my pops on and talk a little baseball with him, and then we'll come back. We'll finish up with the Mets and the Yankees, and we'll get right into football. We got some Spinal Tap stuff. I got a whole bunch of stuff. Stick around for Jeff and I. Hang on. Let's get my pops on. What's up, Pop?
What's up, guys? He's covered almost everything. Hi, Jeff.
What's up,
Good. What do you got?
I agree. He's in baseball today. There's very rarely do you see a two-way player. You don't see them anymore.
Yeah, no, I agree. But there are a lot of guys who are not. Well, let's put it this way: how many guys do you know getting paid that kind of money who are
money? When you play baseball, it means nothing. You can make $100 million a year.
Yeah,
and it doesn't matter. You can't name me, I think, 5 people in both leagues that actually are great doing both things.
No, I think you can. I think the problem is he's forefront of it because of the money you get. Now, I can't name you 5 guys who are making $50, $60, $70 million a year who aren't the best player of our two-way players.
The money never bothered me. I understood you try to get – listen, for years, the owners were getting away with it. They're making the money. The problem is today, most of these young kids, I don't say all, but most of them, do not know fundamental baseball. Don't know how to hit the cutoff man. How to – look at what's his name, first base. He was only 3 feet off the bag. And he got doubled off.
Yes, we were talking
about
that.
How did that happen?
Yeah.
I see him on the bench.
I don't care what a guy makes. That doesn't bother me. They could go out there and make whatever they want. The owners can make whatever they want. I'm all for it. But when you are demanding and requesting and pushing for the biggest contract in baseball, and I don't care how good you are, but when you don't play hard, when you don't give it all your effort every game, what you're telling me is all I wanted to do was to get to this contract, and then it is what it is. Because when I watch Soto play, I don't watch a guy who plays hard. I don't watch
No.
a guy.
But you don't see any of them play hard.
No, I
They
disagree.
really-
I disagree.
They
There's a
both
lot of
do.
guys who. There's a
Both
lot of
ways.
guys. There's a lot of guys. Judge, Otani, Schwarber. There's a lot of those guys who play hard, who are good ball players. I'm not a big fan of Bryce Harper. He plays hard offensively and defensively. Sometimes guys play hard and not the greatest player. Like a Nimmo. I don't like Nimmo, but he plays hard. He runs hard. He plays defense hard. It's not the money aspect of it but when you're getting paid that kind of zeros, I expect you to go out there and lead by example. I expect you to go out there and play your ass off. And I'm not a Met fan. I could care less if they win 20 games or 120 games. My beef, but as a baseball fan, Jeff, the one thing you want to see out of an athlete who does nothing all day but play a sport is to play the game the right way and play it hard, Jeff. That's all you're asking as a fan.
I agree with you. And Frank Catalano, he says, money does not bother me, but it has to bother you in this situation because this guy's making a tremendous amount of money, and that could have been another player or two that could have helped your team and put your team over the edge. I'm not saying that Juan Soto's got to go. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying he's a terrible player. But if you could have gotten two players for that same money, and the second player helps the team more than he is, it's something that has to be considered throughout sports, all sports.
Yeah, but it puts
The
fannies
amount
in
of
his
money that
seats.
these guys are getting paid is just
It
phenomenal.
does this year, Dad. It does this
It
year.
puts fannies in his seats.
No, it will this year. But if it continues the way it goes now, and next year he comes out the same way, it's going to wind up with the reverse end of it, because what you're going to have is your fan base starting to boo him and go against him, because they're going to say, here's a guy, I'm paying all this money to go to this game because he's here. He's one of the reasons why the ticket prices are jacked up. I'm supposed to pay all this money to go and watch this guy play, and he's not even going to play hard. So right now, you're right. He's putting fans in the seats. But come next year, if he doesn't change this up, you're going to have people in the seats, maybe less of them, and they're going to be yelling for his head. And that, as a publicist and the marketing team, the Mets are not going to want any of that. So to me, I got it for this year. They were selling out tickets for him 100%.
Of course.
But it'll go against him next year.
But
And you're
that's,
right.
Tommy, if you look around all the teams, you look at these guys, I watched the game.
I got you, but here's the thing: that if he's running across the bridge and five guys in front of him jump off the bridge, does he jump off the bridge? No. So I don't care what everybody else does. You're making the most money in baseball. You are technically the face of this offseason. You got paid to be the best player in baseball.
Whose fault is it?
Listen, there's nobody's fault but his. The Mets.
Management.
No. I disagree with you. The Mets gave him the money. The Mets gave him all the perks, and all they said to him was, come here and be the best player. And he didn't. Now, if you're the Mets, there's nothing you can do. He's got no incentive to do anything more than what he's doing. There's no contract. There's no opt-outs. There's none of that stuff that they can hang over his head. The only thing they can hope for is that either he wakes up or somebody in the team throws a punch at him and says, wake the hell up, because the Mets have done everything they can to give him everything he wants, and he went out there and he pissed the bed. And at the end of the day, it falls on Juan Soto, the baseball player and the man. That's the difference. So I disagree with you. I agree with the Mets management. They're maybe not pushing him, but there's not much they could do to push him at this point. So to me, this falls on Juan Soto. And like Rob said, he's the last guy out of the dugout. He's the last guy hustling.
Play with the same uniform.
And and that needs to be different. He needs to find that second gear and go out there and say, I'm the best player in baseball. I'm going to play like it. And he's far from it. He's now, he's a really good hitter, maybe a great hitter. And I won't call him a great hitter. He's a really good hitter right now.
What's his batting average?
You got to remember something. It's still a team that's in second place.
No,
Jeff, I agree with you. But, maybe they're in first place. Maybe they're running away with it if he's the best player. And again,
I agree. But right now, they're still in second place, and they got a better shot than the Yankees realistically right now. The Yankees are 6.5 out. The Mets are 2.5 out. I understand everything you're saying, but, both teams are still in the playoff picture. But the Mets, they probably got a wild card right now, no?
The Mets are in a wild card spot. Yankees are still holding on to the third wild card spot at this point. But, again, you watch the way they play. Who cares? You're going to get beat by somebody because, this weekend for the Mets is huge. They're playing the Brewers, who are playing the best baseball out there. If you can't find another gear, if you want to tell me, well, the Giants weren't a great team, so they kind of they were kind of going through the motions. You're playing basically one of the best teams in baseball right now. If you go out there and get your head handed to you and get swept again, or lose 2 out of 3 again, this team's in trouble. You got 7 games coming up with the Phillies. This Met team will be in huge trouble if they don't come out of it this weekend. But the bottom line is, I'm not blaming the Met players. They're not playing well, but most of those guys hustle and play hard and treat the game the right way. I'm specific right now to Juan Soto and the fact that
I know, but I mean, he's still within striking distance.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not over yet. You know
but
what I
that's
mean?
That's what the Yankees are doing right now.
Yeah.
They don't give a shit if they finish first place or last. They want, as long as they make the playoffs, that's all they care about.
Correct.
But the worst thing they did was they hit the World Series this year, and they played like garbage.
I agree. I couldn't agree, but Frank Catalano, I disagree with you. It is about the money because when you're getting paid that money, and again, I got you, the rest team had, but if Juan Soto's going out there and he's tearing it up and he's playing his ass off, that's all you can ask. But when your best player, quote unquote, best player, is playing like crap and he doesn't play hard, then it is about the money. Because why did you give him? You gave him money to be the best player and the team leader. I'm sorry. I know people say, well, you can't pay for the. Yes, you're taking the most money in the league. You are the team leader. There is no doubt about it. And if you don't step up, then it is about the money. And that's the difference. I disagree with you there. So,
right.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you go.
All right. I'll see you over the weekend.
I'll see you over the weekend. Jeff, take care. Have a good weekend, buddy.
You good, Mr. Florio. I'll see you
Take
soon.
care.
That's my pops. He checks in every Thursday night with us, and we're glad to have him on. Yeah, my dad was right about some things, but it's too general, Jeff. Like, you can't just say nobody hustles. It's not true. First of all, we don't see every team play every week and every day. There are a lot of guys who play hard. There's not always the best ball players, and sometimes the best ball players don't hustle. But this is about Juan Soto and the way he's acting, and that's the problem I have with it.
Well, listen, I understand that, and I love Frank getting mad, striking at Aaron Judge. That's a man's man, a player's player. How dare you talk about him like that?
Right, best player in baseball, face of baseball, Aaron Judge.
But listen, Judge does one thing that I got to say, and I don't watch much baseball. I don't watch it at all. Okay. Mm-hmm. He hits and then he gets hurt. And he starts off on fire and then he seems to cool down at this time of year. He needs to play consistently too if he wants to get his team to the playoffs. And when they were in the World Series last year, his time to shine, he didn't shine.
No, not at all.
He didn't do what he had to do. And that's something that you have to expect. These guys, these power hitters, and I understand when your father says about they don't understand the fundamentals of baseball. We've talked about that plenty of times. Yep. The game has changed. It's all about power hitting. Okay. Nobody's going to win the World Series because they got the best bunter in the fucking league on their team. Nobody's going to win that. Okay. Yep. What the fans want to see, what Major League Baseball wants, what video game people want, what everybody else wants except for baseball purists is a guy to hit the ball 500 feet every time he's up and hit 50 to 75 home runs if he can. That's what the people want. The young kids that are getting into baseball, they don't give a fuck about the fundamentals.
Nope.
They don't care about things that Phil Rizzuto did and some of the other baseball players of a long time ago did. They want to know how far they can hit the ball now with different stats, exit velocity and everything else. Mm-hmm. That's what people are wrapped up in. And because we've discussed this before.
100%. I couldn't agree with you more.
Whenever there's a new stat, that's what people are getting into.
Oh, no, it's all about launch angles and exit velocity. I get it.
Says, like, how many feet did that drag bunt go down the third baseline before it went out? That one was 22 feet,
I totally agree. Again, the game has changed. And to Frankie's point, I agree with that. Aaron Judge needs to be more of a physical presence on the field. Maybe that's not his style, and that's a negative to me. The guy like Aaron Judge, who is the best player in baseball, should be able to step up and grab Jazz Chisholm on the side and say, "That's bullshit. Don't pull that shit again."
And Frank Catalano, you could say Soto was the leader in the postseason last year. You want to know something? Not his job. He has to be up there. He has to practice. That belonged to Aaron Judge. He was the one that should have put that team on his back. He's the one that should have stole a game or two the way he with his
100%,
hitting.
100%.
I understand what you're saying because Soto evidently did good to get the contract he did. Mm-hmm. He proved that. That's why they paid them the money that he did.
Yep.
But Aaron Judge should have done the right thing last year. And I'm not saying that, he was like, well, I'm not going to hit. I'm not hitting. Fuck it. I know it's not easy to go in there and hit, but this is why you got to be
100%.
The best player that you could be at all times.
100%. It's one thing to be great in April and May. You need to be great every day, every year, and all through the year. And that's what makes guys like Lou Gehrig and some of those guys who were great all the way through. I don't know that Lou Gehrig hit 300 every day of all of his career all the way through. But when I watch these guys play today, there's too many weeks where they just disappear. I mean, Aaron Judge does it every year. He kind of disappears in June and to July, and then sometime in August he wakes up and he'll have a great 6 weeks to the end of the season, and he pads into the stats. And I think he's a phenomenal ball player who plays really hard.
Listen, who was the last?
Yeah, they never hit to the playoffs.
Who was the last sports figure that you could say put his team on his back and carried them to a championship?
Oh boy!
I want you to consider something. I want you to consider something. If you say anybody from football, remember that they're only playing one side of the ball for the most part. Yeah. Maybe they play special teams. They're not playing offense and defense. So while you could say that, you put the offense on your back in football, or you put the defense on your back. Who was the last person in sports to put a team on his back and deliver a championship?
Wow, that's a tough one. Jeter, yes, to a certain extent, but the problem for Jeter was never was the best player. Even though he was a Hall of Famer, Jeter was never the best player in those Yankee teams. Bernie Williams was a better player.
You have to be a better player in order to be best player. You have to be the one that carried them.
I would say, Rob's got a good one with Jeter. Mariano, it's tough because he only pitched an inning a game. So it's hard to say Mariano, although the Yankees don't win those championships without Mariano Rivera. I think Jeter might be. I agree with you. Mo did, Frankie. He closed the games, but the Yankees had to be leading before that. So that's the only thing. I would put Mo in that category, but I think Jeter's a good one because Jeter was the guy who, when the lights shined the brightest, was the best player on the field. There was no doubt.
Remember, I said not just baseball.
No, I get it. I'm thinking hockey. I'm back to hockey, but I don't watch enough hockey the last 20 years.
Yeah, you don't have to. All you need to know is one name in hockey. That's good. Mark Messier.
No,
was the last person I know that put a team on his back and carried them through the playoffs and through the championship.
Oh, no, listen, and he wasn't even the best player on that team. I think at the end of the day, Brian Leach was, but without Messier, and again, we talk about, some of the biggest moments, Messier's guaranteeing that in the game 6 of the Devil series, that's the kind of guys you need today that we don't see. That moment right there is what sports leadership is all about. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to be the guy. I'm going to go out there and win the game.
He said and he delivered.
Yeah, 100%. And that's a great example. It is an absolutely great example of what the best player does. And while most, a lot of times now, if he goes out there and he fails, now he didn't say I'm going to have a hat trick tonight. He just said we're going to go out, we're going to win. I guarantee you we're going to win. And he played his ass off, and he wound up scoring 3 goals to do it. But that's what leadership's all about, and that's what you don't see today. And everybody says right. Judge gets to the playoffs, he doesn't hit. There's a lot of we tend nowadays, Jeff, I think, to call people great who have non-great tendencies. You know what I mean?
Well, I know exactly what you mean, but I want you to realize this too, because Frank Catalano did mention this, And I went back and I looked at it, and he said that he don't think that there's 5 people in the at Major League Baseball that are hitting over 300. So I had to go look and check that stat. It was actually 9.
Okay.
9 people in Major League Baseball right now at this point in time are hitting 300 or more. 9 people out of how many people in the league? So when you say that people aren't as great, players aren't as great, what is it? Are they all not playing to their potential? Are they all just content with getting so many different kinds of stats? Or, you know what I mean? It's nobody is trying to become the best player in sports today. It's not just baseball. It's overall.
Well, I think here's the difference now. I think people, it's the change of philosophy of baseball in general. We talked about it earlier, and you mentioned it, and you were right on. People don't care about hitting 300. They care about hitting the longest, fastest home runs possible. So if Anthony Volpe, the shortstop for the Yankees, instead of hitting 10 home runs or 15 home runs, he wants to hit 25 homers. So he'll sacrifice 40 points of his batting average. So instead of hitting 270, 280, he's happy to hit, 270, 225, 230. That's the difference now. So what 300 doesn't mean anything to players today. They want to hit 25 or 30 homers and show up on ESPN every day, so you can look on when you get up in the morning and you go do your scouting through the thing to see who does what. They're going to just show, hey, Jeff, look who hit the furthest home run last night. Even though he went 1 for 5 with 3 strikeouts, the one ball he didn't hit.
Talk about the 450, 475 foot.
Correct.
That's what's more important.
Right. So
but
to me,
that's what people want to see, though.
Well, that's I'm not disagreeing with you. To me, that's not baseball. Again, I get it. I'm the old man on the lawn. Get off my lawn. And Frankie doesn't surprise me. Anthony Richardson is the biggest bust there is, next to Trey Lance. I told Matt Salitri, but Trey Lance was going to be a bum, and certainly is. But yeah, so to me, 300 is dinosaur time now. Nobody cares about hitting 300 anymore. Nobody wants to hit 300 anymore. They get paid based on how many homers can I hit, how far can I hit them, and how fit. When somebody gives me the stat that Giancarlo Stanton hit a ground ball at 99 miles an hour that got caught and he got turned into a double play, who cares? Why do I care how hard he hit the ball directly?
Unless he hit a ground ball so hard that it ripped the guy's glove off and it went into the fucking stands.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only thing that would be interesting about that.
Unless it looks like a Bugs Bunny cartoon where there's a hole in the glove with a fire ring around it.
Yeah. Everything you're saying is true. And I saw a video last night that on Facebook, and it was a video of Rod Carew, and it was his 3,000th hit. Okay. And now we know Rod Carew was playing for years, and I thought he would have had a lot more than 3,000 hits. He only retired with like 3,053 hits. He didn't really have as many as I thought he did.
Okay.
But the whole point of this is that the game stopped. Everybody was going completely mental, and they gave him the base that he hit. The Gene Mauch was the manager at the time. He came out with another base, pulled the base out of first base, gave it to him. They put it in the dugout. They put another base down. Little things that I don't know if you're going to see stuff like that anymore in today's baseball.
It ain't going to matter.
Yeah. Well, even if you're right.
Even if it happens, nobody's going to care.
But it's a shame that accomplishments like that. That's where the baseball purist comes in.
Yeah.
And they enjoy that stuff. And other people may be like, but he didn't hit a home run. Rod Carew wasn't a home run hitter. I think he had 173 home runs or something like that for his career. He didn't have very many.
Yeah.
And listen, that shows an overall player. And the players today, they're just not overall players. And I mean, listen, when was the last time back in the 70s that there was 3 running backs in a backfield of a football team? Now you have some teams have 2 and 3 running backs because nobody is able to take it and just run with it. There's always a reason to have a backup. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. I think in football, when it comes to that, the days of the the days of the running back where you had guys like Walter Payton and Earl Campbell and Billy Sims, and each team had that star running back. Nowadays, it's 3 different running backs. Most of them you probably don't know their names, and they're all going to play. And the day of the star running back getting 25 and 30 carries is probably gone. Although, as you said, and wisely so many years ago, football, it's what do they call it? Centrifugal? It's circular. It comes back around. Things to happen, and then new fads and the old fads come back. And you're starting to see the running back become a very important position. Why? Because the quarterback play has decreased over the last 5 or 7.
Because they don't have enough quarterbacks to fill. Oh, by the way, Rod Carew, 92 career home runs.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Rod Carew was a really good hitter.
Contact hitter.
Yeah, and it goes back to like Joe DiMaggio. Here's a guy who hit 300 and something homers in his career, struck out less than 300 and something times.
I gotta keep this up. I gotta take care of this.
Good. So at the end of the day, I don't want to turn myself into the old man on the lawn and be that guy who says, "Oh, my day was better." But when I watch the game today and I see how it's changed and what's valued, I don't understand sometimes why the game has changed so much. Like, why? I know it's about putting people in the seats and having people go to the game and what people want to see, but most baseball fans want to see runs, want to see the ball put in play. Nobody wants to go to a game that winds up, 8-5 and there's a total of, 21 strikeouts in the game. Nobody wants that. I don't care who you are. I want to see a big home run. There's no doubt in my mind that I want to see a good baseball game. It's close, and then my star or one of the guys on my team comes up in the 8th inning and hits a monster 2 or 3 run homer to put the game away or to put us ahead. That's fun. That's baseball. Some of the greatest moments of all baseball time are classic home run moments. Bucky Dent, Joe Carter. There's so many of those. Game's over, game's done, and all of a sudden somebody hits a big home run to win it. Bill Mazeroski beating the Yankees in 1960. There are so many that nobody wants to take away the home run. The home run is one of the greatest plays, moments in any or all of sports. It's that dramatic moment where the game's on the line and there's one guy throwing the ball and another guy hitting it, and he's trying. One's trying to get the guy out, the other guy's trying to hit the ball and hit a home run to win. There's very little that's more dramatic than that, right? Very little. There are other dramatic parts of sports. Every sport has drama, but that split second that guy winds up and makes the throw and the ball and contact is made and the anticipation of what happens next is one of the best feelings and one of the best things that happens in sports. But the problem becomes now is that everybody's living and dying with that. Nobody plays to the moment. Yes, Frank, and I hate the stats and the analytics. I'm all for having the binder in the dugout to say, hey, give me an idea what this guy does against him, or give me an idea what my guy's been. But to go there and go, oh, I watch Clay. The things I watched this year alone baffle me in baseball, especially with the Yankees. But you don't have to be the old man on the lawn to be mad when you see guys don't hustle. I don't care what a guy makes in sports. I don't care if you're the third string running back, if you're the first string wide receiver, if you're the starting defenseman, if you're the backup point guard. When you're playing in a professional sport on TV and you basically, your entire life, your entire job is that sport. When you don't hustle, you demean the game. And as a sports fan, a guy who's watched and played sports his entire life, if I can watch weekend warriors go out there and bust tail down the line, on a Monday night softball league under the lights at the Berries, I expect the guys that are getting paid millions of dollars, the guys that I'm spending my hard-earned money on cable TV and jerseys and taking the family and going to the games and spending money, I expect those players to very, very least play hard And if
Yeah,
you
but those players don't care for a lot of different reasons.
I agree. I'm not saying
They already got the money. And Frank, as far as playing the game as it's supposed to be played, play the game as you're supposed to do to get paid. It's all about money, bro.
Yep.
That's the sad part of it. Nobody gives a flying fuck if you're a fan or not. They do not care. Okay. The farther they hit the ball, the harder they hit the ball, the faster the ball goes, the more money they make. Okay. That's the shame of it. That really is the shame of it. That is baseball in general now. Okay.
Yeah.
It's all about numbers like that.
I agree.
A quarterback is who's getting. I hate Tom Brady. Hated Tom Brady when he played. I still don't like the guy. Okay. But when he was playing, he delivered, took his team to the playoffs every year, was pretty much, well, who's just going to be in the Super Bowl this year? I don't know. New England, and it was always that.
Yeah.
Okay. From the beginning of the year, he delivered, and he didn't fucking break the bank as the quarterback on the team, and he could have, and he would have had every right to do so. He could have made as much money as he wanted. He tried to give back to the team so that the team would be successful. He made his money in other ways. Don't get me wrong. But, it is what it is. These guys today, they don't care about that as long as they get paid. That's all they want.
I agree. I think the last part is I just want to ask this question. So, Frank, you can answer, please. Jeff, I want your answer on this. I'm the first guy. Frankie's kind of blasting Mendoza, the Met manager. Can a manager really manage today? Can a coach really coach today with today's athletes who've been coddled and pushed so much, so little in their life? Like, can you really expect Aaron Boone to take these guys to task, or can they do it, Jeff? Or how can you actually manage these guys today?
Well, you know what? I think that to an extent that they can, but when you got a guy that's making massive money and he knows what he did to get the money and the manager knows what he did to get the money, I don't think that they're going to mess with that situation, that they're not going to give him a hard time. Is anybody going to yell at Soto? You know what? What happens? Soto tried to run out a ground ball. The guy went to go step on the base, landed awkwardly, snapped his ankle. He's going to be out for the rest of the season. Okay, and this is now April 4th. Yeah, well, his ankle was fucked. And then next year when he comes and plays, his ankle is still fucked. It's not right. And this is how some people's careers end. If it's not clear cut, why am I going to take a chance of running it out? Now, don't get me wrong. I firmly believe that, you should be running it out. Without even realizing it, these guys are teaching the game to any little kids that are watching the game. They want to emulate these guys. And then this is how bad habits evolve and make their way through baseball and other sports too, not just baseball. Mm-hmm. If a little kid sees his favorite player not hustling, well, I'm not going to do that. He don't do that. Why am I going to do that? But, sometimes a little hustle once in a while actually wins. And it helps you go to the next level.
100%. Frankie, I disagree with you. I agree with you that there were other rules for LT, but come Sunday afternoon, LT played harder and better than everybody else. Yes, he had different rules. He didn't show up for meetings. He fell asleep in meetings. I've heard and read every story there is out there.
I mean, that's a bad example because
it is a bad example. Yeah.
He delivered.
That's great because I remember when you saying when Showalter got canned that if a manager can't get his team to perform, then he's gone. Yeah, Rob, I agree with that, and that's my philosophy. But the question I'm asking is, can we really expect these managers to do that? I hold them under I hold Boone accountable. I hold Mendoza, and I hold Showalter accountable. I think that sometimes the manager. I think all the time the manager has to do it. But my question really is can Aaron Boone walk into the dugout, flip a couple tables over, bench a player or two without losing the team? That's the question I'm asking.
They'll never fucking do that. The days of somebody going into the dugout and smashing shit, that's Lou Piniella days. That stuff probably.
That's my question, and that's the answer. Is I don't believe that as a manager they can anymore walk into the dugout and say, "Hey, Aaron Boone, Aaron Judge, you didn't play hard today. You're on the bench for 3 days." Guys just don't do it. And the problem is the players won't back you. So the minute you do that, they're all talking, and now you're the dickhead, and nobody's playing hard, and they're all going after you now. So that's the problem, is your own team doesn't hold each other accountable. And if the players don't hold each other accountable, then the Magic can't do anything. That's my point, and I disagree. Dable will make the season. He might not make it after the season.
It's just a good time now. We got to leave this baseball shit behind.
Well, Well, first, before we go football, I want to get a little bit of music stuff in here. I got a little Spinal Tap stuff for you, and then we'll get right over to football for the rest of the show.
Did you listen to the song with Elton John singing Stonehenge?
I absolutely 100% listen to Stonehenge.
I do not like Tufnell's take on this version.
I was not crazy. There was too much keyboard in it. I just don't
like the change of the singing. I like the version that I heard 40-something years ago.
Correct. I would agree with you. I did.
A band like Spinal Tap should not be polished.
Yeah, it's very true. So I did find out that there is a new album coming out with 13 new a new album coming out, and that there is a chance this isn't the last Spinal Tap movie.
Wow.
Because it says the end continues. I think that's the end of it. Is that the end of it? That's what it's called, right? The end continues. So there was a couple of interviews done. I don't know if it was Rob Ryan or whatever, and they said you just never know with these guys. So there could be a continuation of the Spinal Tap franchise. I don't know, but there is 13-song album coming out on September 12th when the movie's released. And McCartney, I have the list of the songs on the new album. Would you like to know what they are?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, hold on a second. Let me switch.
And over. I would imagine any special guests are going to be.
There's 4 special guests. 2 of them are on one of the songs. So okay. I will tell you exactly. I went and found the article today, and it's a very long article. So here it is. The first song is called Nigel's Poem. Number 2 is Let's Just Rock. Nigel's Poem.
Nigel's Poem, okay.
Okay. Next one is Let's Just Rock Again. Then it's The Flower People with Elton John.
Wow.
Then it's a song called Brighton Rock. Number 5 is The Devil's Just Not Getting Old.
Is that a Queen cover, Brighton Rock?
I don't know the. It's Brighton. Brighton.
Yeah,
Rock.
Yeah, but I don't know. I know that they have a song called Brighton Rock. I don't know if it's a Queen cover.
I don't know. I didn't hear it yet. Then the next song is a song called The Devil's Just Not Getting Old. Here's a surprise. They brought back Cups and Cakes with Paul McCartney singing.
Wow.
I Kissed a Girl, Angels. Here's one for you, Jeff. They're bringing back Big Bottom with Garth Brooks and Trisha Yearwood singing.
Oh, boy.
Judge and Jury, Rocket in the Urn, Blood to Let, and Stonehenge with Elton John. Those would make up the new album from Spinal Tap, which will be out on September 12th. So we'll be looking for that. I've watched a lot of the trailers and little leak stuff. I was a little disappointed when they were explaining how the latest drummer died. He sneezed himself to death. I thought that was interesting. They showed them trying to recruit the drummer. What the hell is it? The black guy from one of the late night shows.
Yeah,
you saw that one? Yeah.
He's like, no.
Yeah. So there was some funny stuff. I thought the best clip. I'm not ruining anything because this is out there for everybody to see. They were talking to the publicist, and the publicist says, "Well, here's what would really go over well: if at least one, if not 2 of you, actually died on stage during the last song."
I saw that one, and Nigel was just looking at him like, "What are you out of your mind?"
And St. Edmunds goes, "What if we went into a coma instead?" And he goes, "Oh, I like that. They're thinking outside the box, literally." To me, this is going to be a great experience for us. Hopefully, we'll get a bunch of people to go see it with us and have some fun and a bunch of laughs. But
I hate to say this. I'm hoping that with Ozzy dying doesn't give them an idea and they milk this to death. It took 40 years almost to get a second act to this, to the first
41,
one.
41 to be exact.
41. So I'm hoping that with Ozzy's death,
Yeah.
doesn't push them in the direction of like, let's kill this franchise. You know?
Yeah, I don't know the answer, but there has been a hint. Now, I guess it will depend on how well the movie does. If this does great, and people are loving it, and it's lingering for a while, I would almost guarantee you'll see another one down the line. Maybe one that actually puts an end to it. I don't know. I guess it also depends on the end of the movie. How does this movie end? Does it end, kind of like the first one, where there's kind of like no real ending? We'll see. I guess we're going to find out on September 12th. And speaking of Ozzy, there is an Ozzy and Sharon biopic being worked on. It's been worked on for a few years, and that should be out in the near future. I think it does touch on the Ozzy Sabbath years and Ozzy solo years, and obviously the Ozzy years with Sharon after. So it's more of a love story about Ozzy and Sharon. Does that interest you, or would you want to just see more on an Ozzy end?
No, and even information on his solo album doesn't do much for me, to be honest with you. I would love to know more about the Sabbath end of it. I would love to know more about how the Sabbath's management was robbing them and taking all their money.
Which was really Sharon's father.
They went through a couple different managers.
Yeah, well, Sharon had to pay him $1 million in a lawsuit because she took Ozzy and managed him, and they didn't talk for 30 years because of it.
Well, 20 years. I don't know that end of it, but I know that they had more. That's why there's songs on the Sabotage album. And that's why that album, I believe, was named Sabotage. And a lot of the songs were them singing and performing songs against their old management team. And I'm not saying that Sharon's father was innocent.
Yeah.
But I know that it wasn't all him.
Understood.
It was other managers that, they ended up getting robbed down to nothing twice. Because there was a time when they were first starting to make it big. Because I read Tony Iommi's book. And it was like they would call their manager and be like, listen, I want to buy a Lamborghini. And they're like, no problem. What color? We'll have one sent over to you. And they were just giving them shit. But they weren't. Nobody was looking into their money. And then it found out that, you guys don't have any money. Money's gone. So it's like, and then Sharon's father came later on. And almost to the point where Ozzy got thrown out. I think that's why there was some problems between Sharon and her father. Because when she started to manage him shortly after him getting thrown out of Sabbath. But who knows if there was any kind of record deals between her old man and the band, if they had to or additional albums or shit like that happens with that situation.
Absolutely. Oh, there's one other Spinal Tap fact that I found, and I need to verify it, but it's in the article which is on Blabbermouth. Do you know that I don't know if it's all Tesla cars or some Tesla cars, the audio goes to 11 in the car.
Really?
As homage to the Spinal Tap, it goes to 11. There is an 11 volume in a Tesla car. Maybe not all of them, I'm not sure, but it's in the article. And the BBC has an iPlayer that also goes to 11.
Really?
As an homage to Spinal Tap. And would you say that is the most iconic scene out of that movie?
Tom, there was so many.
I got you. But what?
I mean, is it on a list of iconic scenes? It's like, how can it not be?
Yeah, well,
this one goes to 11. It's just.
Well, when you think of Spinal Tap, the movie, what's the scene that comes to mind first? Is it Stonehenge? Is it Stonehenge in the midget?
Stonehenge, Hello Cleveland. This one goes to 11. The Sustain.
Yes.
This is my exact skeleton.
The sandwich.
The sandwich. David shit sandwich.
Yes.
The sandwich.
That might be
and stuff like that.
I think shit sandwich might be the line of the movie.
When to me, the scene in the movie is when David and Nigel come back on stage. It's just
yes, that is
it's a movie. You know all of that, But I mean, I watched that, and I think I get a tear in my eye when that happens. That moment.
Yes, when he gives him the head nod, he's telling him.
Yeah, like it looked like he gave him one earlier, and he just never picked up on it.
It's the truth. Yes, that is absolutely
And he was like,
true.
come on.
Yes,
And
that is
he's
absolutely
like,
true.
and he's like, yeah, come on. And he comes out, Nigel Tufnell, lead guitar. It's like,
Yes, that is a chilling moment. You're absolutely 100%. Hard Rock and Sports, Jeff and Tom. We're talking a little music. We're about to transition into our favorite subject, and that is the world of NFL football, which obviously everybody knows. Even though last week was week 1, technically, with the Hall of Fame game, NFL preseason starts tonight. There are 3 games tonight, and all teams are playing this weekend. Jeff, I know you don't get excited for preseason football, but it is the start of football season. There's a little bit of butterflies working around. We're getting ready for our teams. We're getting ready for fantasy football. Is there a little excitement when it gets to this point in the year for a football fan?
Yeah, it should. Listen, this is when there's a lot going on at this point in time. You got to hope that your starters don't get hurt. You got to hope that your teams, they gel. You got to hope that you made the right call in free agency, that you drafted the right players. Because if not, your season is over early. There's only 16 games, 17 games,
17 games,
18 weeks. There's a lot that's going on. And, it seems as though that a lot of teams are going to be starting their starters.
Yeah, and I agree with it. And I'll tell you what, when you're done, go ahead.
Well, you know what? Listen, we see what happened when they didn't start them last year.
Well, that's my point. Yeah. So look at, the Giants came out last year and they looked like crap for the first 2 games. It looked like they had never played before. And it's because the guys didn't play. So to me, you can't keep using the first 3-4 weeks of the season as training camp.
Well, you know what? If they go to 18 games, it's going to get worse.
100%. Yeah, of course.
It's going to get worse.
Oh, because there's only going to be 2 preseason games.
Yeah. And I wish that they would go back to the 4 preseason games, let them play. The starters play the first 3 games, rest them in the 4th game. They've been doing that for years.
Absolutely.
If anything, tack the extra game on at the end of the season or something. I don't know. Whatever they got to do.
I don't know the answer, but here's my first off, Frank Catalano, did you get my email a couple weeks ago about the league? I sent the emails to everybody and 3 people responded. Did you get the email I sent?
You got a response from me, right?
I got your response. Frank Jeffrey got a response for my stepdaughter. Got her response. I got 3 or 4. Nobody else. I said that whole things about the league, the rules, and there was another one we were talking about. Frank Jeffrey and I were talking about today. It's a real fun one. I don't know if we'll put it in, but we'll talk about it. Please check your emails because I'm sending out stuff. New rules we put in this year. And
what is this new rule? Explain it to me while you're here.
All right. Well, here's what and Frankie sent me a link, and it's really a fun rule. So there's a rule. It's not even really a rule. It's at the end of the year, you're allowed to go back to one game, any one game you want, anonymously. Don't tell anybody what game it is, and you're allowed to go back to one game. And let's say in week 5 you lost, and you lost by 6 points. Right? You lost by 6 points, but you started the wrong quarterback, or you didn't start your defense, or you put the wrong wide receiver in, and the guy, one of the other guys got 10 points, and you would have won the game. You're allowed to go back and change that player for that game, theoretically changing the outcome. Now, you say, well, that's stupid, right? Well, everybody else is doing it. So let's say the guy you played went back and he changed that game and changed his quarterback in that game and he got more points. Or somebody went to a game that you won and he made that change and he took a win back from you. It could happen. So
it could happen. You know what I would rather see, though, instead of that? I would rather see that you get to play maybe 2 extra players in the game. Maybe start a second quarterback.
We are given an extra flex position this year. So there's an extra flex. You just can't use a second quarterback, but you're getting an extra flex.
If you could use a second, I would think a second, because imagine, let's just say that somehow, some way, you got Josh Allen and maybe you ended up somehow luckily getting Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
And now they're both going to, play, and they have monster games and 50, 60-point games, because it's happened last year.
Sure.
I would rather be able to do that than to go back and win one game. It's going to make massive points. It's going to be
Again,
something.
I'm all for. Again, Frankie and I talked about it, and I put it out there to guys. If you have it, if you have a theory or you have a something that would change the league, and you want to make a change, put it out there. I'm open to everybody saying, "Hey, I like the idea," or "I don't like the idea," and kind of.
I definitely like the idea of having another flex player because there were times where I was torn about who I was going to start. And the guy I sat ended up getting more points than somebody else. But I just think that if you have a flex player, that player, one of those flex players, should be a quarterback.
If you could have the ability to start, you could. Well, we could do it where you could. Your third flex could be a flex of any position. It could be we right now we have it limited to wide receivers, running backs, and tight ends, but theoretically we can make that, or I think it's also a defensive player. But we can make that change if guys want to make it. I just wanted guys to kind of respond to the emails and say, "Yep, I got it. By the way, I'm sending you a payment, and let's add this rule of that." So I'm gonna thank you, Frank. But Frank, please check your emails occasionally. I'm gonna do every Monday or every Tuesday. I'm gonna put out a
when you send the emails, right? Let me know. Send me a text because then I'll check it immediately because I don't check emails every day because I don't get emails like that. And when I did check it, like I went to go answer it, and I don't think that some of them I answered more than one. And I know that you didn't get the answer because it said that I was sending it to somebody else. And I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, I don't know. I did get the one you said I'm in. So I got it. So I'll put out another round of emails and I'll text everybody to say the emails went out. And, like I said, usually from now on, there'll be one this weekend and then there'll be one probably every Tuesday. Once the season starts, I'm going to put out like kind of here's what happened this weekend. Here's who won. Here's who lost. Kind of get try to get everybody involved. But Jeff, put
3 weeks from today is going to be the draft, right?
Yeah. 28th at 8:30. We'll be doing the draft right here. Frozen. Joe froze in already. Joe froze in. Joe Dorada's in this year. If you read the email, you'll see that we have three new managers in the league this year. So we have the same 12 teams. We have same amount of teams, 12, and we have 3 new managers with Joe Dorada, Joe Fro, and my son-in-law all have teams this year in the league. So we're looking forward to it.
Team names from last year?
You can change your name. You can go in there and change your team name around anytime you want. That's your privilege. You own the team. You can do it. And right now you're the favorite. You're the second place team. The first place team is not coming back.
Oh no?
Nope.
Whoa! We'll have to talk about that.
That was all me. So
okay.
I did not bring back 3 teams. Frank Jeffrey and I wanted to keep it to local, as much to people we grew up with, and of course family. Not that I had any problem with Mike Passamonte, Carl Graham, or John. Great guys, but we wanted to keep it to our clique of people.
Wow, okay, whatever.
So basically,
what am I to say? I know there was some talk about that last year. Oh boy.
You're the only one uttering that phrase, that's for sure.
Oh, your money never came via cell. I'm sorry, bro. I don't know what happened.
So anyway, we have some new teams. We have the draft coming up. We've loaded instead of 1 minute per draft pick, it's 45 seconds. We're going to speed it up a little bit. We added points for some different stuff. The only big thing we made a change on that I'm thinking off the top of my head is what do we say? So all trades have to be approved by the commissioners. Trades will get approved by one of the teams. Probably going to be Iggy Mo as the other senior South Beach Panther. There was one other thing we put in there this year.
I don't like. That I don't like because if me and Frank Catalano want to do a trade, okay, and it's within the trade guidelines, it's not like I'm 0-8 and I'm gonna like Frank, I'm helping you out. You're 7-1. I'm giving you take this guy, and we do an obvious trade that's like, I think that as long as the commissioners vote yes on the trade, I think that should be good enough.
Well, that's it. That's all it is. It's me and Frank. That's it.
You said Iggy Mo.
No, Iggy Mo. If I make a trade, somebody else.
Okay. If one of the commissioners,
if you and me are making a trade, or if either commissioner is making a trade, we want a third party, somebody different to say yes or no.
Okay, that's
So it doesn't look like Frankie and I are conspiring in any way, especially if Frankie and I are going to make a trade with each other. Somebody else has to be that. And we just said, you know what, Iggy Mo goes back to since it's a Panther, technically South Beach Panther Fantasy League. We'll give it to Frankie. But otherwise, we didn't want to get into where you want to make a trade and the 4 guys who you are trying to beat all vote against it. You know what I mean? We wanted it to be. I could care less. I'm gonna veto trades that are stupid, and of course I'm pushing through everything that's any good. Don't you guys?
Well, I mean, come on. Like you said, if somebody says I'll trade you Daniel Jones for Josh Allen, that's definitely a trade that
Yeah, again, that's those are easy ones, and I think 99% there's going to be no issues with, and there aren't a lot of trades. We did do one thing. What did we do there to try to make it where you can't? We did something. We want to do it where we do have more trades and less waiver wire stuff. We added the extra player because we wanted to dilute the league. That's why you get an extra guy in the roster because you're going to use an extra flex position. So
let me ask you, what you should do is, because there was some guys last year and the year before and the year before that just they get on the waiver wire every fucking day and they're like turning their whole team over. Maybe you should limit it the amount of moves that somebody could make.
That's a possibility. And do me a favor, put that in an email. But what we tried to do was put more teams more players in play, so there's less options.
Less players but after a while, there's no options anyway. Right. Especially later on in the year, you need somebody. Every once in a while, there's a stolen player.
Correct. So what we wanted was, we were hoping is that there won't be anybody in the waiver wires most of the year, and it'll create more buzz on trades.
Yeah, so, I hear what you're saying.
So that's all. So we figured, and it's only an extra 12 players, but we figure we'll give the extra flex, and we'll put an extra person on the roster. And but you had 2 good. Put those suggestions out there. Using one of the flex. One flex position can be used as with the quarterback, which is fine with me, and put that out there, and we'll put it for a vote. I'm trying to get people involved, but you're right. August 28th at 8:30, we'll be doing our draft, and we'll be doing it right here to finish up for the night. And I'm looking forward to the season. And like I said, three new managers, and hopefully I can build on what I think I won my last 8 or 9 straight games. Just missing the playoffs. I wound up in 5th. I started out 0-4, and I think I won my last 9 games. So we'll see. And Frankie, I am going to draft Bo Nix and park him on the bench and never play him just to torture you. That's my plan.
Wow.
I will draft, and I know he'll be around. He'll be around when I get to the 12th round or the 13th round. He'll be there. And Frankie, I will draft Danny Dimes because he will start for the Colts this year, and he will have a good year. Watch it, because just to spike the Giants, that's what's going to happen. So anyway, let's move on. Let's talk a little preseason football, Jeff. So we were talking about it before. Should teams play, knowing what we've seen the last 4 or 5 years and how bad September football's been? Is it worth the risk of playing guys like the old days, a little in the first game, a little more in the second game, and a lot in the third game? Is it worthwhile for teams to get that continuity, to get that competitiveness, and get the guys on the field and take the chance? Or do you say, hey, I just can't have a guy getting hurt in the preseason. Well, I got to sit him.
I think there's a lot of things that make up with this. I think that, first of all, the amount of money that these players are getting paid, I think that dictates a lot. Second of all, if you have a guy that's making $45 million a year, why do you want him getting hurt in August when, if he's playing anytime after the first week of September and he gets hurt during the season, it is what it is. You know what I mean? At least he made it to play football. There's already been a couple guys, no big names that I've seen, that got hurt, but there's already a couple guys that had some season-ending injuries. Mm-hmm. And, if this is your starting quarterback or your starting running back or your starting wide receiver, this could fuck up a whole team for the rest of the year. So I could see why some people don't want to start their their starters in a preseason, and especially when you think about like preseason game. All right, these guys are going to do 2 series. If one of those series is 3 and out, and then the next one they play 5 players, that's it. They played 8 plays. That they're done. I could see trying to get them to work, but also I could see you don't want to overwork them because one play, if they say, well, you know what, the guy asked to stay in, I left him in, he shredded his knee up. Now he's got one leg shorter than the other for the rest of his life. You just don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
But to me, I kind of, because it is only 3 games, I don't know, man. Maybe they play 1 game and they play a half, and that's that.
Yeah, well, it looks like so far from what I saw today, it looks like the Jets, and here's the thing, Aaron Glenn, I don't know what kind of coach he's going to be, but he's definitely in running for the next Belichick role, at least in his personality. The guy is just straight up, belligerent to a certain extent, and I like the guy. He's playing the starters. He said, we're going to come out, we're going to play football, and I enjoy that. I understand. Listen, you can hurt
everything you can to turn the thought process of what's going on there around.
100%. And I think
it works. Time will tell, but he just wants to show that he's trying to turn this ship around away from the rocks.
100%.
That's all he's going to do.
Yeah. Now, listen, I don't know if he's going to be a great X's and O's coach. I don't know if he's going to be a great football guy, but I would tell you off the bat, I think he's changing the culture, and I also think he seems to be so far a great motivator of the team in the sense that, here he is a couple practices in, they got the pads on, they're tackling, they're having tackling drills. I enjoy that, and I think that's old school. And here's the thing, you can get hurt in practice, you can get hurt stepping out of your car, and twisting an ankle and busting it out. So to me, football players got to play, and the way football has been the last few years since they've gone to no two-a-days and less hitting practices, football has taken a dramatic step backwards. Would you agree? The first month and a half of the season?
Yeah, there's a lot of things that happen in football that need to be changed.
Hey, Ted, sorry we couldn't make it, Ted, with the show tonight. Good luck tonight. All the guys there, all the guys from Black Sasquatch are playing in Brooklyn tonight.
Yeah, I apologize, Ted. I told Ted I was going to try to make it.
Yeah, I told him the same thing, but with the show and work, I couldn't do it. But, Ted, good luck to you guys tonight, and thanks for being part of the show always.
The football overall in general, they have to, especially the Jets, right, when the situation they're in, they have to do something to show that they're at least trying to change.
Yeah.
It's been so long since they made the playoffs. The Giants too on a regular basis, but at least you're making the illusion. If it doesn't work, you're making the illusion that you're trying to change.
At least you're trying, exactly.
You have to do something. You have to.
Yeah, and Matt, after the way the Bengals started off last year, they had to do something different. I mean, they were horrendous early last year. I get injuries and I get all of that stuff, but I just think, Jeff, there's something to be said where. I remember, and again, I'm just talking from personal experience. I'm obviously never played at the level these guys are, but I remember practicing when I played for the Panthers. We would practice all summer, 2 days a week, and by the time we got to September and we were playing our first game, you just wanted to kill somebody. And every year we would go out there and we would wreck the first team we played. And I think that's the thing I look for the pro teams is, you should be building this thing every week, getting better, and building up where, the Giants the last 2 years, they got crushed by the Cowboys, I think 41-3 2 years ago. And last year they got embarrassed by the Vikings on opening day. They played a little better versus the Redskins the second week. But I think this has been a big downfall to a lot of teams, especially my Giants. They just don't play the starters, and the guys get out there and they're ill-prepared to play football when it counts.
Yeah, but you know what, Tom? While I understand everything you're saying, and I agree with that to an extent, some teams just don't have the starters that you want to see playing extra because their starters suck. And the Giants are definitely one of those teams. The Jets are definitely one of those teams with a handful of others that it doesn't matter who they got on the team. They could play straight through every fucking preseason game. They're not going to do anything.
I'm not telling you that you're going
to.
No, I'm with you. I'm not saying that it makes you win. It'll make you win games. But when you go out there and you're committing penalty after penalty, when you're going off sides constantly, when guys aren't running the right routes or guys aren't up to speed or they're getting outplayed, that's different. That's lack of preparation, lack of practice. You could play every week, be completely in sync, and still go out there and get your head handed to you. That's not the point. The point is that you're ill prepared. You could be as prepared as you want and still get your asses handed to you. That I've played enough football and seen enough of it. So I'm agreeing with you, but it's not going to make you be the greatest. Whether you practice every day together and you look like the 7 blocks of granite, in August doesn't make you better in September. But when I see the Giants and I see a lot of teams come out the first couple weeks and they just look like they never played before, that's why I think what the NFL did with taking away the 2-a-days and the lack of hitting practices. While I understand, Jeff, you're right. I don't want my Josh Allens or Mahomes subjected. You still need these guys to play and to really get to that point. And that's my biggest problem with the NFL. And they're not playing guys. And I respect the fact that the Jets are playing their starters. The Giants, I think, are, but I think Jackson Dart's
you look at the Jets, right? You say about the Jets, look at the Jets. The Jets are playing their starters.
Yep.
Jets starters are lucky to be in the league starting for the Jets, because if they were on any other team, the way that team has played the last couple of years, not very many of them will be starters in any other team in the league.
Wow. Yeah, but the only way to get better, the only way to get cohesion, the only way to get that camaraderie and the consistency is by playing. So you know what? Maybe
very true, but some of these guys could play every day for the rest of their lives. They're just not getting better.
No, I'm with you, but again, sometimes you don't need the best 22 people on the field to win games. I watched, Tom Brady, right? Now, Tom Brady is a different category, but, Tom Brady wasn't surrounded by the greatest teams in the world. Like, there weren't a lot of Hall of Famers on those teams, but they played hard, they played well, they played together, and they won a lot of Super Bowls. I watched the Giants win a couple Super Bowls in the last couple decades, and there weren't a lot of Hall of Famers running around out there, but they played hard, they played together. So I don't think you need to have the best players or the top 3 players in the league to win. I just think football is one of those teams, one of those sports where if everybody plays and does their job, even if they're not at the top level, you can win games and you could be better. That's my point.
Of course. And that's what happens when you have 22 guys on the field.
Right.
It is a total team sport. You have to do your part. If you don't do your part, you're not going to win.
Yeah.
That's all. It's totally true.
Yeah. And so to me, I respect, and I get it. You're going to get criticized. If you do it, you play your starters. And nobody's playing their starters every minute of every game. And I'm sure that they're not running anything elaborate. They're not going to, put Justin Fields back there to throw 20 passes. He'll run a couple plays. He'll hand the ball off a lot. The starters will get their work, but you'll get a lot of credit if you do it, you get through it, and your team comes out and plays semi-well. You'll get a pat on the back for doing it. And if you go out there and Breece Hall blows out a knee or Garrett Wilson, ruptures Achilles, teams, they'll be like, oh my God, you played. To me, it's football and it's next man up. And if it happens, it happens. It could happen week 1. It could happen week 18. It could happen in the preseason. We've seen it all.
1,000% right. But you want to know something? Like you just said, and that's the way to think about it. If something happens and you fail and you end up getting the look at the Jets. Aaron Rodgers, 4 plays in a couple years ago.
Right.
And that was it. His season done. Jets team done. Everybody says, well, the Jets, they got a chance this year. What happened? When your quarterback blows out his fucking knee, no.
Right.
And if you, in any sport, if it works, you're a genius. If it doesn't work, people are going to burn your house down while you're asleep.
Yes, 100%. Jeff and Tom, Hard Rocket Sports. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Again, you got a lot of NFL football on right now, and of course, there's a lot of it coming up this weekend. And Frankie Catalano, I think everybody should play, and I think everybody should get their work in. And I think the more prepared you are, and especially in football is all about working together. You run a running play, 5 guys are doing 5 different things on the offensive line. They all have to. It's all a balance of movements. Every step you take, if one guy's off, the whole play is off. So to me, the more time you could do that, you do it in practice. Everybody knows what's coming. It's happening. When you're doing it in a game, there's things that change. Guys line up in a different spot. To me, the more these guys play, the better, and the better your teams are. And yes, we could all be cursing, in November when our top 3 or 4 players are out because they played in the preseason and they're hurt and our season sucks. I get it. But that, to me, it's almost better that, Jeff, than turning on September, whatever date it is, and watching really bad football for 3 or 4 weeks. That, to me, I think is almost worse.
Well, like I said, sometimes it's hard to agree and hard to disagree with that.
Yeah.
It depends on how you're looking at it. You also got to think this too. Maybe you're playing bad football in September, but maybe you're still playing football come fucking January, February. Yeah. While everybody else's team ends, that's that.
Yeah. No, you're right. And there's no way to know it until you do it and you get out there. I just think if you can find a way to get your team from point A to point B, you're just going to be that much better in September. I grew up watching guys practice 2 and 3 times a day and playing every preseason game, maybe except the last one, and then going out and watching good football in September. Watching teams come out and be as good in September as they would be in December, and it was a lot more fun than what you watch now. It's bad football in September. Very few teams play good football unless they're playing the Giants. Then they're world beaters. But, other than that, I applaud it. Go out there and play it. And you know what? If Russell Wilson starts the season and he gets hurt in the third in the third preseason game, then Jameis Winston's up and we got to take our role with him. And if he gets hurt, I got to live with Tommy DeVito or Jackson Dart. And if not, go find Tim Boyle. Yeah, that's the way it's got to go. So
that's going to be rough, man.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. So, but it's going to be fun. I know you don't have a lot of expectation for the Jets going into the season, and I get it. And we talk about all the time expectations, this, that, and the other thing. I think it's almost good the way these teams are going in this year. I don't think there's a lot of pressure on either team to be great, which is good and bad. I mean, it's good from the sense of there's no expectation. Nobody expected them to win 10, 11 games. It's bad from the sense that there's a good chance they might both suck again. But
yes, but here's the thing. There's a difference, though.
God.
There's a big difference, okay? The Jets have Justin Fields.
Yep.
He's on his third or fourth team in the last 3 years. Okay,
yes.
So we got to see what happens there. They're paying him not an exorbitant amount of money, but they are paying him.
Yep.
And you got to turn around and you got to see just what happens. Does this guy have any kind of chance to turn his career around, or maybe he's out of the league completely, or he's just going to be a third stringer for the rest of his life? You don't know.
Right.
The Giants, on the other hand, you have one quarterback in Russell Wilson that's at the very tail end of his career. How much longer could he possibly be playing for? You got Jameis Winston, where if he goes out and plays well, he's a good quarterback. If not, he's a turnover machine.
Yes.
Okay, so chances are he's not going to be a long-term answer at starter. But you got Jackson Dart, and for whatever reason, Tommy DeVito is like gum on the shoe. They can't get rid of this fucking guy. I don't know why. But let's stick with Jackson Dart for a while. The Giants are going to look like masterminds if this guy plays well and he turns out to be the starter, because look what they did. They drafted back into the first round. They got their guy. It was their hope all along to get him. They got a good defensive player in Abdul Carter, and now they also got their quarterback of the future. If it fails, then I guess we're going to go next year and try to get somebody.
Yeah.
Cleveland, I see reports where Cleveland is already looking towards the draft next year.
Yes.
They didn't even put anybody on a fucking field yet.
Yeah.
And they're already looking about who's coming out in the draft next year.
Well, you see, so far that the quarterback depth chart has it Flacco, Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, and Shedeur Sanders is the number 4. And they just brought in another quarterback into the room. I think it's Tyler Huntley, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it is.
But supposedly somebody was injured or whatever. But there's 5 quarterbacks in camp, and Joe Flacco, who's got to be close to 40 if he's not over 40, at this point is the starter for the season.
Yes, but you want to know something which I thought was fucked up?
Go ahead.
Shador Sanders, I know the guy's not great. Evidently, he's not great. He got drafted in the 5th round.
Yep.
He's not even practicing with the starters.
No.
It's almost like they just take him, just fucking draft him. You're not doing nothing this year anyway. Draft him, let him go to quarterback hell, and then release him at the end of the year, release him whenever.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's unbelievable. They're not even giving the guy a fucking chance.
I look every day, Bleacher Report. I check, all the different Pro Football Talk, all of them. And one week you see, he was, 9 for 12 against the third stringers, and he only played 1 snap against the. I don't understand where that, we just talked about the Giants and Tommy DeVito. You said, I don't know what Tommy DeVito's doing. I understand what Tommy DeVito's doing there. Here's what I'll give you that quick one. I really do believe that they don't want Jackson Dart to play at all this year, and I hope he doesn't play this year at all. They're hoping Russell Wilson will be the guy all year, and I do believe that he's only there just in case that Jameis Winston's only there in case he implodes early, and that, again, I don't believe Jameis Winston will be on the Giants much past 3rd, 4th week of the season. I think he will wind up on a team that needs a starting quarterback, the Saints, or one of those, or somebody gets hurt early. The Giants will trade that, and Tommy DeVito will be the 2nd-string quarterback so that Jackson Dart does not have to play. He knows the system. He's the 3rd year there. He's not a great quarterback, but he'll suffice as a backup. I think that's why Tommy DeVito's still there. As far as the other side of the room and the Browns, I don't understand. I didn't understand that the way they. I didn't understand why they drafted Shador Sanders. I don't know why it happened.
Makes no sense to me.
Yeah, it still doesn't, and you're even more right, because if you draft him that late, do you think you'd play him a ton in camp to see if he had anything and then decide what to do with him? Right? I mean, I just don't I don't understand why you would draft him right after you drafted another quarterback, and then you brought in Flacco and after you already traded for Pickett. It didn't make any sense.
I don't understand it. And speaking of something that I don't understand, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers brought in fucking Teddy Bridgewater.
I saw that too, yeah.
Now, chances are he's not going to be on a team come September.
Yeah. Well, If Teddy Bridgewater is playing football at any point this year, the Buccaneers are having a bad season. If Tommy DeVito's playing quarterback,
Buccaneers, yeah.
If Tommy DeVito is playing quarterback for the Giants at any point this year, it's probably not a good football season for us. So, the idea, and again, I'm not a huge Russell Wilson fan. I got to root for him. He's wearing the sweater. I think he's good enough, and I think this team is good enough for him to win 6 or 7, hopefully 8 games. That's my hope for the season at this point. We'll see we'll see how that plays out. I don't think Jameis Winston will be there. The question's going to be, and we're going to keep watching it, who are the 3 quarterbacks that stay and on the roster for the Cleveland Browns? I think it's.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's unbelievable. It's I don't know.
Yeah, it's going to be.
Flacco's got to be a definite, just because he's a veteran and he showed that he could still be serviceable.
Yeah.
So I guess he's going to be in, and then after that, it's anybody's guess. Pickett, I don't know. Do they keep the guy on? I don't know.
Well, let's say this question: Why would you have these 2 rookie quarterbacks? Like, there's no way you're going to go into the season with 1 veteran and the 2 rookies, right? There's no way possible. Like that doesn't even sound like a feasible thing.
No, it doesn't. But you want to know something? You're also talking about the Cleveland Browns,
very true,
who have right now 6 quarterbacks on their roster.
Yeah, it's very true. I would be shocked. Frankly, it makes no sense to me, because to me, if you're going to keep 3, it's got to be Flacco, Pickett, and one of the draft pick guys. And then maybe one of those guys who doesn't make it is going to be on the practice squad. So to me, it's 3 guys stay on the roster, and it's Pickett, Flacco, and one of the rookies. And other rookie winds up on the thing. Now, the other rookies on the practice squad can get signed to another team's roster. So they can lose him. So, it could be wind up that it's, Kenny Pickett on the practice squad, for all I know. I just don't know why you want to keep two rookies who are a third and fifth round pick. These are not guys who are first round picks, Jeff, or guys who are high draft picks with a lot of upside. I don't know why you want to keep both of them.
I don't understand. And Frankie asks, why draft them? I don't know. Like, most of the time, when was the last time a quarterback, other than Brock Purdy, that was Mr. Irrelevant, did anything in the league without being a very high draft pick?
Very true. And even
a team like the Cleveland Browns should not be wasting draft picks on quarterbacks that late.
Yeah.
Draft players that may be a rotational lineman or something, or a depth player, something like that. You're a team that needs obvious help. You can't just turn around and be like, we'll take another quarterback. We'll take another.
It's to me, taking a quarterback at number 3 or number 5 makes sense when you've got a number 1 quarterback of your future, and you're looking for some future guy or a little depth on your team.
Where you find a situational quarterback for depth or future on your team, free agency and unrestricted free agents, undrafted players. Why would you want to waste a team like I could see a winning team maybe spending a 3rd or 5th round pick on a quarterback, but a team like Cleveland where you need help, obvious help, why are you drafting them? I just don't understand it.
Yeah, especially if you drafted one at 3, which I thought was a stretch to begin with, and then to take another one at 5 really makes no sense. Again, I know everybody tries to create competition, but that makes sense. And Matt, if he plays the whole first half, that's great. He hasn't been getting the reps that he needs, so we'll see. Maybe.
So he's going to end up playing with the players that he knows best. Then anyway.
Yeah, I guess it's an interesting. It's going to be interesting to watch how this plays out over the next few weeks. Who they keep and who they don't. I think one of those rookies winds up on the practice squad. One rookie stays, and I think both veterans stay. I'd be shocked if it went any other way. We'll certainly. Tommy, I sent you something on yourself. I did see it, Matt. I'll take a look at it after the show. I got 2 text messages from you. I just haven't had a chance to go to watch the whole videos yet. Feel bad for these teams that they're not many. Well, Matt, can you keep 3 on the roster and then 1 on the practice squad? Why couldn't you do that? Not many teams do that, but you can theoretically keep 3 on the roster and then keep a 4th on the practice squad. You can't keep
Nix just sign up for his AARP card.
Yeah, I think he's just filed for Social Security.
So like 31 years old or something like that.
Like his 12th year in college. Which, by the way,
remember we're talking about Cleveland evidently, and you're still talking about Deshaun Watson. Has he got guaranteed money this year?
Yeah, you're still paying him this year.
He's got to be on the roster one way or another.
No, I think he goes on like the injured. He's out for the season. Like he's on one of those injured reserves that he doesn't count. He counts in the money, but he doesn't count on the roster.
He doesn't count. All right, so you're still paying him.
Yes, you're still got to pay him. So either way, he's guaranteed. I think this year and next year.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it's this year and next year. I think next year is the last year for his guaranteed contract. So yeah. You're a Cleveland boy. You gotta want to go back in time. If you're a Cleveland, you can go back in time at least once. I think you got to go back to that one. Yeah. Oh yeah, hello Cleveland's right. Holy cow. Frank, I'm not telling you that you're wrong. You can keep 4 quarterbacks. Now, the veterans aren't going to stay there either. So I got it. You're probably not going to keep a 4th guy, but you could stash a guy on your practice squad and then hope that nobody signs them or tries to sign them. And the guy could turn it down too. He doesn't have to be signed off the practice squad. So yeah, you're right. I just don't see keeping both of the rookies. I just don't. If you're Cleveland, I think you're setting yourself up for failure. I think if you're Cleveland, you're hoping
not keeping both of the rookies on the main roster.
Yeah, I mean, I think
they're on the practice squad. Yeah.
I think if you're Cleveland, you're praying that Kenny Pickett's the best quarterback in camp. Flacco, it becomes the number 2, carries the clipboard, and one of the rookies is your emergency quarterback. That's what you're hoping for.
I think they're hoping for something else.
What do you think they're hoping for?
I think they're hoping for a crystal ball so that they could say that, you got 6 guys that could play quarterback on your team, but this is the one. Take this guy.
I'm not a big Deion Sanders fan, but I do want to send a little shout out. He just getting through bladder cancer. But, if you read through what he went through and what they did they took out his bladder, and it was just, it's just frighteningly scary. And while I'm not a Deion fan, I think he's overhyped and an overrated coach. I do say, listen, I'm glad that he's recovering and he'll be back on the sideline coaching badly.
Scary shit, man.
Yes.
Like I read that about he has no bladder now.
Yes,
They removed it. I think they made a bladder for him out of a piece of his intestines.
Yes, yeah, it was a whole special surgery, and they basically come out and said that he's going to be fine and he's cancer free at the moment. So, God bless him. I'm happy to hear it. All of that. A couple other.
Speaking of God, I mean, as we're getting older, all of us that are on now, and you hear these things that happen to some of these other guys. And you got to pray, of course, that nothing ever happens to one of us that way. And then, nobody we know. But if it does, knock me the fuck out and don't wake me up for like 3 weeks, because I don't want to know any of this. I don't want to hear we got to knock you out again tomorrow and do this. We got to sew that.
Yeah.
Your bladder right now is down on the floor in a bag. I don't want to know any of that. Just do what you got to do. Wake me up when it's over. Get up and walk out on your own power. That I'll be all right with that.
All right. Well, I'll keep that in mind. Hopefully, we won't have to worry about that.
Just knock me the fuck out if that happens.
There is a huge push for the Redskin name to come back. Are you up on all of that? Did you follow all of this?
I've been seeing some of it. Yes, I saw. I don't know how true it is, where Trump is, saying that this needs to happen, or else he's not going to fund the stadium.
That is
I firmly believe that he should just be quiet, not get involved in that. Go worry about other things that are more important than what we're calling the Redskins nowadays.
I agree and I disagree. I agree that to me there's more things in life to worry about than that. But I will say I agree. Here's what I differ with you on this, Jeff. What I think he's trying to do is like what he's been trying to do for the longest time now, and that is kick all the woke in the throat. This is one of those where he's saying, you know what, you guys, 3% of the people out in this country cared about this at all, and the woke took over, and everybody genuflected, and we lost the Indians and we lost the Redskins. He said, I think
sadly lost them.
Yes, and I agree with him. He's been doing nothing but the right thing for 200 days that he's in office. There's not been too much bullshit and stupidity. And I like the fact that he's saying, you know what? Put the Redskins back. The fans want it. The alumni from the team want it. Everybody wants it, but a couple of people and a bunch of executives in the offices. And I love it. Now, I think at the end of the day, he's going to relent. He's going to give them the money, and all that's going to happen. But I like the fact that he's basically kicking the woke in the throat. And he's saying, you know what, get out of the way. We don't want your bullshit. And if I want to call the team the Redskins and the guy who owns it wants to call the team the Redskins, that should be his business.
Yeah, but it seems as though the guy that owns the Redskins doesn't want to call them the Redskins.
No, well, again, I'm not sure he doesn't. And whether he does or doesn't should be up to him.
I believe he actually said that he didn't want to.
All right, well, again, so to me, at the end of the day, he owns the team. And if he wants to call his team the Commanders or the Washington football team or whatever, to me, you own the team, and that's the way it should be. I don't mind setting the example and pressing it. I also think that the guy who owns the team should pay attention to his fans and the alumni from the team who all are clamoring for the Redskins to come back. And I think that's where I differ on that. At the end of the day, if the Redskins are due money for their stadium and it's normal course of business, I say let it happen. The guy owns a team. He should be within his right to do whatever he wants with it. He paid billions of dollars for it. But I firmly believe, and I'd love to see the Redskins come back. While they were the worst uniforms, I miss them.
Well, I personally think that the name change in the first place was a stupid thing. I don't think that any teams has a name that's that offensive that should be changed.
Right.
Whether it was the Indians, Cleveland Indians, or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't think that either one of those names, the Redskins or the Indians, should have been changed.
Yeah.
When they were named the Redskins, and we talked about this before, that was the terminology that they used.
Well,
You
it
know,
was,
while there's
yeah.
certain terminologies that are offensive, at the time when that team was named, it wasn't considered offensive.
And the guy who that is that likeness or that logo was made after was an actual Indian, was an actual chief, and you know the nation for the most part people wanted it, and they thought it was you know. And I don't get why Indians in any way is offensive, but the Redskin one, I'm sorry, but I give Trump credit. He's basically he's having fun right now. All the woke, all the crazy people that are running around out there, he's trying to jam it down their throat and stick it to them. And I love every second of it. And he should keep doing it.
Yeah, but you know, listen, dude, there's a lot of shit going on in the world, and you know, I hope he's not taking too much time on this and
no, definitely not.
Attention to some other shit. You know what I mean?
No. Listen, again, the eyes on the prize. Did you say you were? Oh, the Indians, the Redskins, the worst. They were McDonald's uniforms. I mean, they
got the same uniforms now.
No, yeah, they're horrendous. They're no better now.
The helmet instead of
I just say I missed we had a show here. We went through every uniform and we rated that the worst uniform in football. They were terrible colors, the whole bit. But I missed them, and I would rather them to be called the Redskins with that logo. I have the hat. You know, Jeff's got the mini helmet. Frank, they were far from the best. Those were the worst uniforms.
The best? What are you out of your fucking mind?
No fucking way. Absolutely not the best.
I'm not a huge fan of them, but they're far from the best.
Gee.
I will be right back. I gotta.
Go ahead. I'm gonna start closing up anyway.
I can't let it ride here. I don't know. It's iffy. Pretty iffy. I'll be back.
Top 3 favorite uniforms in the NFL. Boy, that's a good one, Matt. Let me think about that for a second. I am a huge fan of the Texans helmet. I love the Packers. I am a big fan of the Packers. The Raiders are up there. The old Dolphin uniforms are up there. I'm trying to think. I love the old Jet uniforms, the ones from the back in the '60s when just before the new ones they went to. With the white helmets. So I'm going to say top 3. Obviously, the Raiders have to be in there. The black and silver are just spectacular. I love the Texans uniforms, especially the helmet. I love the helmet. And the Packers. I think the Packers are just the NFL standard. I know they're not. It's just NFL. I mean, there's nothing better than Packer football in the wintertime or come November. On a cold day with a little bit of snow. Yeah, I go Packers. I love the old Dolphin uniforms, but give me Packers. Give me the Raiders. And number 3 would probably be the Texans at this point. Yeah, I hate some of the new, the Bengals uniforms with the white helmets suck. Steelers, I got to put the Steelers in there. I love I love the white jerseys, Steelers with the helmet. I love that one. Yeah, I hate them. I think it's Ronald McDonald for the Redskins, but I want them back. It was Ronald McDonald colors. Sorry, the red and yellow. It just it wasn't for me. The logo helmet is okay. It's not bad, but I'm giving it. Give me those Packers, Raiders, and Texans. Oh, some of my favorite. Panthers, Raiders, Steelers are a good one. I'm not Panthers. The helmet's nice. It's not terrible. Now, again, if you told me that the Buccaneers were going back to the creamsicles, I love the creamsicles. Love the creamsicles. That's a favorite for me. I love the nostalgia of it. I'm sorry, Frank. I played at McKee. That was my colors, green and gold. So I'm sorry, but I love the Packers with the emblem on the. Yeah, the Packers are it. Yeah, I'm not a big fan, Matt. That's a tough one for me, Matt. The Panthers, it's almost as bad as the Jaguars.
The Carolina Panthers, I think, has one of the more boring uniforms. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Boring uniforms, too. You're supposed to be a Jet. What fucking Jet is green?
Yeah. So Matt asked. Let's end it on this. Matt asked the top 3 uniforms for you. I went Packers, Raiders, and I went Texans. I love the Texans helmet.
Oh wow! I mean, for
And
me,
Steelers are in there, too.
I like if I'm going by strictly colors.
Yes.
I like the New Orleans Saints. Any combination, except too much. When it's not with white pants too. The black uniform, the black jersey, the gold helmet. I think the Buccaneers,
The new ones.
the newer ones, but not the creamsicle ones, with the peanut
Yeah.
and everything. And
Those are nice uniforms.
I like the Detroit Lions. I like
Oh,
any
yeah, it's
variation
another
of
good one.
the
Yes.
Detroit Lions.
I agree with that. Yeah, I missed that one. Yeah, that's a good one too. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, now iconic. There are plenty of iconic uniforms. The Cowboys are iconic. I'm not a fan of the Giants uniforms. They are iconic. That color blue. The Steelers iconic. The Packers, of course. There were some nice uniforms, but then there's ones that are just
Now, throwbacks, real quick. I love the old Patriot ones with the red jerseys and the Patriot on the helmet. The guy that one I love. I love the creamsicles now. Back in the day, I used to make fun of it, but I love the creamsicles. Watching that go out there, and the Houston Oilers, the old Houston Oilers uniform.
Yes, that color. Although I like the Houston Oilers, so those were cool.
Yeah,
I do not like the Chargers. They're very similar.
Oh yeah, I don't like the Chargers. The baby blue ones.
I like when they were the dark blue. The
yes,
navy blue. That was much nicer.
Yeah, much better than the powder blue ones. Those are terrible.
Yeah, I don't like them. Worst 3 for me. I got to be honest. I got to say the Bears. I don't like them.
Okay.
The Carolina Panthers.
Panthers for sure.
And, man, I don't know. I got to say the fucking Giants, man. I'm sorry. I don't like those.
I'm going to say
yes, but I just don't like them.
I'm going to say I don't like the Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't like the Panthers.
I agree with Jacksonville. Another one. I make your mind up. Why is that helmet got to fade like half black, half gold?
I don't get that either. Yeah, that's a funky one.
Dude, Frank, the Browns, to me,
iconic.
That's like, I'm not going to say iconic. I don't know if that's a strong word for them, but almost like a mainstay, only because they haven't changed their uniform much. It's been black, orange, brown, and white, and like whatever variations of that since they started using colored uniforms. And I think that the Bengals kind of copied their uniforms, and I'm surprised they did, being in the same division.
The one thing I'm gonna say, the one thing I dislike teams doing, I don't like it when the pants and the jersey match. I think there has to be a little bit
to break it up.
Yeah, like you kind of got to go. Like the Giants, they got to go like the blue jerseys with the gray pants, or the white jerseys with the gray pants, or they go white pants with the blue jersey. Like, when like I see teams do all the time, they do the color rush, and it's like all white or all purple or all. Like, I don't like that. Like, to me,
who's third helmets, Matt? Frank. Who's third helmet? The Giants.
I don't know if the Giants have a third helmet this year.
And
horrendous.
I like the Colts uniforms because they're simple, but the colors it's simple, but the colors just blend.
I do like the call. I also like the Vikings when I like the Vikings. I love the helmet. Yeah. But you're right, Detroit. That is a great uniform.
I like the Vikings better than I like the Ravens.
I hate the Ravens. I agree with you on that one. Yeah,
it's not that I hate the Ravens. It's just I think that the Vikings stuck with that color and just made that color work.
Yep, absolutely.
The Ravens, it works for them also, but they have just too many different kinds of uniforms, too many different variations.
I agree. Like yeah, I think there has to be a contrast. I don't like it when you're wearing like all white or another one I like is the Dolphins when they go white jerseys with the teal or the aqua pants. That looks good. Or they kind of go with the blue shirt with the white pants. That's good. When they go same jersey and same pants, it looks terrible. It just looks
to me, the Dolphins, any color that they use works for me because they come from Miami. So whether the pants match the jersey or helmet, whatever color they use, it does not matter. I think because they're a Florida team, I think it works well for them.
Yeah,
and one of the few teams that I think actually works well.
And the one thing I don't like when teams use alternate helmets, like the Bengals with the white helmet. I think it's horrendous. You can screw around a little bit with the jerseys and the pants. You cannot mess with the helmet. The Bengals have to have, the same helmet with the tiger stripes. That's their identity. It's like the Bears have to have the blue with the C on the side. You can't fuck around with helmets. I'm sorry. I understand why they want to do it. Same thing with the Cowboys. You can't have the white cowboy helmet. I get it's part of the old tradition. The cowboy helmet is the silver with the star. That's a cowboy helmet, and they should not change that. I hate.
And me personally, I think the Cowboys should have one uniform, white with the silver pants. I don't even want to see them when they play with the blue.
I love the blue cowboy jerseys. I do. I grew up with that, like watching Tony Dorsett with the cut sleeves. I
guarantee you that if they wore white constantly, every other team would definitely accommodate them and wear their fucking dark color home.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, listen, I would agree with you. Everybody's got their favorite jerseys on their teams. And I think the Cowboys, that's when you think of the Cowboys, that's what you're seeing. The white jerseys with the silver pants or whatever it is. I think it's different. And I think that's what they should be wearing. But I have to admit, as a football fan, I always loved the Cowboys in the blue jerseys. I just, for some reason, growing up, I love Tony Dorsett. And if I was going to go back and buy a throwback Cowboy jersey, which I would never do, by the way, it would be a blue Tony Dorsett.
So all you're doing now is publicly letting everyone know that when the moment strikes you, when you have the extra money, you're going to go out and get that.
I might.
I liked it. I got to get it because your team is so horrendous that you won't buy one of their jerseys.
I have a closet full of Giant jerseys, white ones, blue ones. I got them all. I need to get a red. I need to get a red Giant jersey. I need that one. I haven't gotten out. I'm going to buy it. It's probably going to be throwback, and it's going to be a red Tiki Barber, I think. I'm going Tiki Barber because he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. And I'm just deciding whether I'm getting a Jackson Dart jersey or not. I got my Daniel Jones in the closet. I got my Eli.
You actually going to fucking wear that thing?
Which one? The Danny Dimes? I'll absolutely wear Danny Dimes.
Why?
I don't know. I was a fan, and I own the jersey. I won't wear it regularly, and I won't wear it on a game day. But if I'm going out of the house and I'm looking for a jersey,
I would wear that if I was going to fucking paint with oil paint.
That's your business. You wear what you want to wear, and I'll wear what I want to wear. I wear good stuff, so I will wear a really nice. But I need a red Giant jersey. I'm going to probably get one this year. I have not done that, and I will look forward to wearing it on the air for opening day. I'm going to have to do that when I get off the air tonight. Maybe I have to go look for that. But now Tony Dorsett in a Broncos jersey, that's cool. That's very cool. And not too many people know that's where he wound up his career there.
I gotta fucking look now. I gotta look and see if they got a red Giants jersey, man.
They have them.
I'm hoping that they don't.
They got them out there. I'll have to dig through some. Daniel Jones. Well, who else is going to play? I don't think they got another quarterback on that roster. Daniel Jones got to play.
Oh, look at this color style alternate. Let me see what alternate one is. Wow, that's hideous. That is hideous. I don't know, man. I don't know if they're going to have them.
Well, I will find. I promise you, for opening day, I will be wearing a red Giants jersey. I'm not sure whose. It could be. Like I said, my hope is that if I can find a Tiki Barber one. I'm not sure I will.
You got to go to the place where you can fucking make it.
I could do that too, but that takes a while. Usually, custom jerseys take a little while to get here, so I'm looking for something. Yeah.
I don't even know what that's listed. Oh, okay, yeah, there they go. They got a Manning one, 159.
Yep.
They got a white with red numbers.
I want a red jersey. I want the red.
I see, but the white with red isn't bad.
It's very nice. Yes, it's very nice. Yes, I think I have an Eli White with red. I think I have that one. They might be in Florida. I have two Elis. I have one red one. I have one blue one, and I have one white one. I'm not sure if it's the white and red one. It should be though. So I have that one in Florida. So I have my Dan Marino jersey, which I will.
Nobody sees you wearing it. That's a good thing.
No, I wear it proudly. Everywhere I go. And I got my Daniel Jones, and if Daniel Jones is still starting in the third quarter, he's going to probably be the starter this year in there. But
an incredible night by Daniel Jones, 10 of 21, Oh man, this is bad. That's bad. Wow,
You done?
that's bad. Huh? Yeah,
Are
I'm
you
done.
done? All right, guys. That's going to be it for us tonight. I thank Matt and Frank and everybody else for hanging out with us. Thanks to my dad for popping up and talking some baseball with us. Thanks for Rob Finelli and everybody else who tuned in tonight and got some messages to me off the air. We appreciate it. We'll be back every Thursday night. We'll be talking football again. We are 3 weeks away from the fantasy football draft, which we will do right here on the air. Good night, Frank.
See you later, man.
So make sure you'll all tune in to watch our fantasy draft as Jeff goes for the big jump to first place this year if he can do it. And
because every year that I've been in this league, I've gotten a little bit better,
absolutely, 100%.
I made it to the championship bracket, and I don't remember what the final score was, but I know it was kind of close.
It was close, and here's what I respect about you, and I don't respect much about you. Let's get it flat out there. There's not too much I do respect, but what I do respect is when John offered to not play the game and just split the money. You said no. I'm going to play for. I want to win it, and I want the bigger piece of the puzzle. Now you lost. But I respect the fact that you didn't go for the extra 50. You were going for the W, and I respect that.
I had to for a lot of different reasons, and one of those reasons was definitely you, because I would have never have heard the end of that if I just took half.
Absolutely, I would have ripped you for months. Absolutely.
And I had to go out there and win. And besides, it was a $50 difference.
Yeah, no, I get it.
$50, and that was big of John to turn around and say,
that's normal.
Do that, and that was fine, but I couldn't do it that way.
No, I'm glad. I am absolutely 100% with you on it. I think it was great. I actually, to the point last year, I wanted to put a rule in and said you can't do it. Frankie said no, we can't have that. We got to let that's
listen,
part of doing business.
If two guys want to do that, that's up to them.
Yep.
If you've made it as far as the championship round. And just like if it was me and you, I would never in a trillion years ever split the money.
No,
I would rather lose outright.
Absolutely, 100%.
Than to never fucking hear your mouth ever once say that you didn't want to come out and fight like a man. And you
absolutely 100%. I would have ripped you upside.
Never fucking happened.
I would have ripped you upside down if you would have did it.
I know.
So
that's what I'm saying. It's never
I finally found a reason to respect you. And that was it. So I just want to give you that heads up right here on the air to tell you that. Matt, 3 worst uniforms in football. Quick. Jacksonville Jaguars, Carolina Panthers, and San Francisco 49ers. Hate the 49ers.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I hate that uniform.
49ers, really?
I hate that uniform.
Oh my God, no way.
I mean, yeah, I would say those two for sure. I hate to say the Browns because no, I'll change it. Won't be. I'm going to say it's the Jacksonville, Carolina, and the Ravens. I hate the Ravens uniforms. Yeah, those are the 3 worst uniforms in football, my opinion.
For me, it's Carolina. I even forget who I said before. Who did I say? Carolina.
You said the Giants, Carolina,
and somebody else.
I want to say Jacksonville. It might have been the Chargers.
No, it wasn't Jacksonville. No, it wasn't the Chargers. I forget who it was.
Yeah, but that's the worst. That's the other Commanders could be in there for me too. I hate those uniforms. I think they're horrendous.
The Bears.
Oh, the Bears. You hated the Bears, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm not a big fan of the Bears. You know why? Because for years I thought it was black. What the fuck was that?
Yeah, it's like a weird color blue. Almost.
Yeah, no, that's like if you buy the 64 box of crayons, and then all of a sudden you look in the corner and like next to raw umber was like, what the fuck color is that?
There's like 73 different color blues in there.
Yeah, and that's like, are you kidding me?
The Steelers. Well, if you want to go alternates, I agree with you. The Bumblebee uniforms are the worst. That and last year's Giants 100th anniversary uniforms, they look like Montreal Canadian jerseys. That's as bad as it gets. But yes, the Bumblebees are the worst jerseys in football. Why they would ever put those on again, I have no idea. Why anybody would ever buy that?
Because I guarantee you somebody buys them.
Oh, no, you couldn't be more right. I guarantee it's a big seller.
Somebody's buying them.
Yeah, those are the worst. But, guys, we're going to wrap it up right here. Jeff's got to go take care of the dog, and we might jump on the air and play a little football, play a little Madden tonight.
Fucking taking that dog out. I will be there.
All right. I will jump on with you. Again, guys, thanks for tuning in. Thanks to Matt, Frank, Rob, my dad, and everybody else. We had a great time tonight. We'll do it again next Thursday night when Jeff and I get together and do it all over again. So please, for Jeff and myself, have a great rest of your night, a great rest of your week, a great weekend, and a great next week. Come back next Thursday night when Jeff and I do this all over again. So for Jeff, myself, and everybody here at Hard Rocket Sports, have a great night, and we'll talk to you guys later on. Jeff, have a great night. I'll see you in a little while.
I'll see you in about 10 minutes, man.
You got it, man.
Later.
Later.